Hi, Glidus.
Hello, it's Dragon Time.
It is Dragon Time. This is the show where we talk about every episode of House of the Dragon.
That's right, and today it's Season 3, Episode 3 time.
Yeah, this is the sort of concept episode.
Yeah, the moody, ooh, what's going on episode.
It's the Emma Darcy-sode. It's the Rhaenyra-sode.
I feel like they're all the Rhaenyra-sode at this point.
Yeah, it feels increasingly like the Rhaenyra Targaryen story. I mean, Alicent used to be a protagonist in her own right, but it's hard to be a protagonist when you're locked in a room.
I was always wondering how the hell this show was going to maintain Rhaenyra's main character status at this point in the story, and I think this is precisely what the show needed to do to maintain its main character being a main character.
Something they did extraordinarily well this episode was have a vibe and a feeling of dread and discomfort and stress in a way that feels very real and very grounded and relatable.
You know what is relatable? Responsibilities.
Yeah.
People coming to you with their fucking problems while you're dealing with other stuff, and your period just started, and also your son died the other day. That one might not be so relatable to everyone.
Yeah, it's a feeling of stress under responsibility. I was very pleased with a lot of what we touched base with, like Corlys and Adam and Alan's subplot I adored. We finally got my favorite character, Alinda Massey.
I know. I'm so happy for you.
I have been yelling for Alinda Massey all season, and now she's finally here, front and center. And we got Sylvie.
Sylvie was here too, and Alicent sort of invoked Diana when she was talking about you will do things that you will hate.
And all these concerns about like the crown's gold has disappeared, and where's Thailand, and like a lot of these little like subplots and issues is all stuff that they planted these seeds ages ago, and now this stuff is coming home to roost.
Absolutely. Last week you said that this show's greatest strength is how strong of a basis season 1 is, and it needs to lean on that. It needs to poke at those relationships. It needs to remind us all of those things we've been knowing for the last 4 years, and this episode is cashing in all of that potential, and it's fucking fantastic. Dragon time, talk about the lizards, breathing fire in the sky. Hi everyone, this week's Dragon Time is like 6 hours long on Nebula. If you want to watch the full version, it's up on Nebula. Thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoy.
And it starts with like the first line after the credits when Rhaenyra says the air is thick with ghosts. And that's like exactly the sense that we should feel now that Rhaenyra is back in the Red Keep, and all of the past 2 seasons of drama and relationships and just petty political concerns, all of that stuff is like crashing back into reality. Rhaenyra now has to feed the city. Rhaenyra now has to deal with these lords and these power brokers and these corruptions and these positions on the council. It's her problem now.
Corlys Velaryon is angry at you right now.
Yeah, so it's like reality crashing in on Rhaenyra while the weight of the past is all still there and is informing and causing all of these issues in the present. I thought this episode was really beautifully done. I feel like some people won't like this episode because in some sense not much happens.
Yeah.
The problem with a lot of House of the Dragon season 2 was stuff not happening, and in particular Rhaenyra not doing stuff. And I think that some people will argue that this episode fits that problem. But for me, this was like fundamentally like tonally different. The situation is different because Rhaenyra is no longer waiting to do something.
Yes.
She is experiencing the reality of being in charge and stuff happening to her and her scrambling to deal with it all.
The cold open, might I add, the first cold open since the show's premiere in season 1.
Yeah.
Like, where's that coming from? And I think it's just to like have the entire rest of the episode the Rhaenyra Targaryen show.
Yeah.
So this cold open, I think of it as like saying we're done with the map, with the armies marching around. It's putting a pin in that for now, at least. This army stuff, that's not what we're doing right now. It's over. Grain Hightower is kneeling to Daemon. We're done with that. This is about Rhaenyra ruling.
What's happening? Rhaenyra's taken the throne, and Daemon has gone to the Hightower army, which is like the major remaining army that opposes them.
Because Daemon defeated the Lannisters in the Riverlands earlier.
The Hightowers are kind of the main problem remaining for Rhaenyra. And so Daemon's job is to come and get the Hightowers to surrender. And one of the things I like about this episode is the Daemon-Rhaenyra relationship. Because something we talked about was that for a long time, Otto and other characters were arguing that we must not let Daemon near the throne because he's chaotic and destructive and irresponsible. And it's now kind of happened. Like, Daemon is the king consort. And I think Rhaenyra is deliberately sending Daemon away at every possible opportunity.
Yeah, she says in this episode, you're going to go to the Vale, deal with Jane Arryn. You're also going to deal with Sheep Stealer. And he's probably going to fuck around with Runestone while he's there. Daemon's going to have adventures in the Reach, in the Riverlands, in the Vale, anywhere but King's Landing. Because, like, day one, Rhaenyra's queen, what does Daemon do? Let's go conquer the free cities and Dawn. Let's extend our dragon empire to the reaches of the world. Are you fucking serious, Daemon?
It's day one. It's day one of Rhaenyra's reign, and Daemon's like, let's conquer Yi Ti. Like, this motherfucker's talking about conquering China when, like, they need to, like...
just took over England, and there's no grain in London. And he's like, let's fly to China.
Yeah, which I love because it's so in character for Daemon. Yeah. I feel like Daemon was so Daemon. Like he was so completely consistent with everything we know about him. And like, yes, this is like a somewhat more obedient, loyal version of Daemon. This is a slightly more mature Daemon. But at the end of the day, he's still Daemon. And Daemon is not a useful person to have in a government. And so Rhaenyra is correct to get him out of there. But it's like, you know, how sustainable is this?
Yeah. How long can you send him on these side quests to deal with other shit? Eventually, he's gonna want what he wants from King's Landing.
Yeah. So Daemon is one of many, many, many problems on Rhaenyra's list of problems, and it's gonna be an issue like sooner or later. I really loved the scene this episode with the High Septon. That was one of many, many like little world building-y things where I'm like, yeah, of course, like Rhaenyra needs to deal with the church. Like that's something that she needs to face. And she's
fixated on her coronation. That's really important.
And I really liked the scene where the High Septon objects to Rhaenyra's lies and Targaryenism and fire-breathing dragons. And that's kind of what I like about that High Septon character, is that I feel like he is sincere and brave and believes what he's saying.
Yeah, imagine like saying that to the Dragon Queen that just conquered the city, that just killed the old hand of the King Otto Hightower.
Yeah.
Like that takes balls.
Yeah. And I think that this High Septon is different to the Septons we've seen before. He's someone who I think was just saying the truth as he saw it and was motivated by actual religious convictions. And I think that's like fun and different. And it's, you know, having an admirable priest character is not what you usually see in Westeros.
Or other shows like this even.
Yeah.
And like the same is true of Orwell. Like so often we're supposed to think of the Maesters as this conniving like consortium of conspirators. Consortium of conspirators. Wow, how did I get there?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he's just an upstanding guy who's trying to survive, and he's doing what's right for the things that are in front of him. And it looks like that's what this High Septon is as well. How cool is Ormond's horse's armor?
Yeah, I love the armor.
And the other horses also.
I love the armor on all the soldiers because it just tells us exactly what we need to know, which is that the Hightowers are rich and strong and proud.
I also love what this scene communicates, which is like, look at this army. Look at this army. But all it takes to defeat it is 3 dragons.
Yeah.
Hell, Daemon didn't even need to bring all 3 of them. I think that's just a show of force.
Daemon says, if you surrender, we will let you live.
Which he seems not all that enthused by. He's like, aw, I wanted to kill all of you people. And he says that to Rhaenyra later. The way he says peace, just so dismissively, like, oh, you can live in peace, I guess.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And his like posture, the way he's leaning back.
Yeah.
I mean, Daemon,
he hates this.
Daemon throughout this episode has this very strong vibe of, I'm too cool for this party. I'm not with you guys. I don't believe in this project. I'd rather be conquering Yi Ti.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is not the vibe you want from a diplomat.
I fucking love... So, Ormond stands down. He says to his army, go home. Daemon's like, almost forgot. Like, he's pretending that Darren is like, go buy milk.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, I forgot this one extra thing that was so unimportant.
Yeah.
And then later, like at the end of the episode, when he says to Rhaenyra, you still have to kill Darren. Like, that's like, can you pick up milk on your way home? Like, it's just great the way he's treating these things.
Oh, David is such a shit stirrer. He's such a theatrical gremlin who just wants to create the maximum amount of disrespect to everybody around him. I enjoy it. There's a bit of alliteration from Ormond as well when he says, the reliability and rectitude of the rogue prince. Everyone's having fun with words today. Sarah Hess, who wrote this episode, is having a lot of fun with words.
This is another Hess-Kilner venture. And the last time we saw that group together was last week.
Damon says, hey, Ulf, do you want to be the Lord of Old Town? And I love Ulf's reaction, which is, really?
Yeah.
And then Ulf looks at Hugh to sort of ask, what do I say?
Is that normal?
Is that a real, is he joking?
And Hugh's having a bit of a giggle, I think.
Because that's one of the sort of ongoing things is that earlier in episode 1, Ulf was like, oh, we're knights. That means we get castles,
I'll need a castle, won't I?
And they're like, no, you're not a castle. And then this episode where Rhaenyra says, what do you want your name to be as a knight, Ulf?
I'll be a Targaryen.
Targaryen.
Obviously.
And she's like, no, you can't do that. And so nobody has explained the rules to Ulf.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault.
Yeah, and Damon's playing with him here.
Ormond publicly swears obedience to Rhaenyra. And he immediately breaks that oath by giving him a fake, false Daeron Targaryen.
And then also conquering Tumbleton.
And in this world, swearing a false oath is a really bad thing. If you're an oath breaker, that's a bad thing. And Ormond swore obedience to Rhaenyra in front of his entire army. He is willing to lie, cheat, and steal, this guy.
What's new?
Yeah, so this whole Ormond character is a creation of the show. And this entire plot of a fake Daeron is a creation of the show. And so I guess the question is what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of this fake Daeron?
Plot-wise and character-wise, it's a framing device for Rhaenyra, and it also brings Alicent into her story, right?
Well, it certainly highlights the question of what to do about Daeron, because that is something that we've been yelling for weeks, if not years, at this point. Is what is Alicent's expectations with Daeron? Will Rhaenyra kill Daeron? Will she spare Daeron? Will Daeron run off with Alicent? What's the plan here? Is a really important question. And I guess they've begun addressing that.
Yeah, this episode gets to answer that question without actually doing anything with Daeron, because I guess they have plans for him in the future.
And importantly, it shows us that Ormond is a liar.
Yes.
And it shows us that Ormond is willing to pull all kinds of tricks and deception to get his way.
Yeah, and his way, it appears, isn't reliant on Aegon and Aemon. Ormond's doing his own thing as it pertains to the Greens, right?
That kid we saw in episode 1 with Ormond...
that's probably Daeron. That is Daeron. Let's just say it. That's Daeron.
I guess it probably is the real Daeron, is the kid we saw with Ormond in episode 1. And that kid had auburn hair.
Yeah.
Like Alicent.
So
either Daeron has dark hair like Alicent in the show, or maybe Ormond is dyeing the hair of the kid. But we got to ask if any of this makes fucking sense. Because, in order for this to have happened, Ormond had to anticipate that Daemon or Rhaenyra would fly to him on a dragon around this time and would demand Daeron as hostage. And he had to have this kid ready to go with dyed hair and with the threats to make him pretend to be Daeron. And he had to hide the real Daeron. And he had to make sure that all of his men kept that secret. And he also had to know that the dragon Tessarion would behave.
Yeah, so Tessarion is the biggest legitimate question mark here. I think the rest of what you're saying, though, is just a pretty reasonable contingency if you're in Ormond's position, no? Tessarion is a bit of a what the fuck was Daemon thinking here? What was the plan with Tessarion? So I'm gonna take the prince. You guys can keep the dragon for now.
Yeah, right?
What?
Yeah, because the dragon is the threat. And there's a lot of question marks here.
Well, I think the threat is Ormond Hightower controlling a pretender to the throne in impunity in the Reach. with a dragon. It's leaving a dragon in Ormond's control for no reason.
Like, the only sensible thing for Daemon to do here is to take Tessarion as well as Daeron with this guard of 3 big dragons. That's the only way to make sure that Tessarion doesn't get up to no good.
So realistically, what should have happened is Daemon says, okay, you're Prince Daeron. Hello, nephew. Nice to meet you. Get on the dragon. Let's fly home. And then the dragon eats the kid because of course it does. That's not my rider. Why are you trying to, like, the poor kid fucking dies, and Daemon's like, so where's the real Prince Daeron? Like, I don't know. I don't know, Matt. Tessarion makes this entire plot a little, like, what? A little dumb school.
It's a little dumb school. The whole idea of fake Daeron, it has a very high probability of immediately failing if Daemon, clocks that Daeron is fake. And in the best possible scenario, what does it achieve? It buys Ormond a few extra days to go and take Tumbleton. Like that is what he gets from this.
Well, that is
right?
That's huge, isn't it? Is that not a huge prize for him?
Yeah.
Holding a city hostage from Rhaenyra?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's certainly how they're playing it. I'm not sure if Rhaenyra does need to care that Ormond is holding a city hostage, because you can really just play that as the evil Ormond is attacking innocent civilians for no reason. Wow, isn't Ormond an asshole? Yeah. Like, this doesn't need to be Rhaenyra's problem, I think.
Well, I think...
But they're certainly going to make it Rhaenyra's problem,
I think the way this works for the show is just the mounting amount of problems for Rhaenyra. Like, this is just another fucking thing to deal with. And also, it must not be forgotten, there's a dragon there. So, like, dealing with Tumbleton is not going to be simple.
What I do like about Tumbleton is that Hugh's wife, Kat, is there.
Yeah, there's personal stakes there for him.
And that is, I think, what drives that story in a lot of ways. That's what makes this relevant to the characters, is that Hugh is going to want to save his wife, and Rhaenyra is going to want to command Hugh, and that's going to create a complicated, emotionally driven situation.
Yeah, they've actually, I think, sown tension between Rhaenyra and each of the dragon seeds quite bloody well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I love what they're doing with the Alan Adam Corlys plot. I feel like finally they're doing something with Corlys, Alan, and Adam that makes sense. It is a real direct conflict. It is emotional. It is like I was really pleased. I was really pleased with that.
I loved seeing Corlys angry.
Finally, right?
Yeah. I got to see Steve Toussaint yelling again. We haven't seen that since like season 1, episode 3, I think.
That rage is in Corlys. That is who Corlys is.
Yes.
This is like the real Corlys coming back in some sense. Yeah, and it's the issue that his brother died for.
But it also makes so much sense on Rhaenyra's end. Like, my son just died.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Corlys. Give me a fucking moment to deal with that. Give me a moment to deal with all of these other things. Can I legitimize your sons? Maybe give me a few weeks to think about how I feel about this, or maybe like try and find some other compromise. But like, obviously for Corlys, it's the most important thing because he's just decided that family is the thing that matters to him. Yeah. But yeah, for Rhaenyra, I think it makes so much sense for both of them.
And like we saw in a trailer that there's a shot where there's graffiti on the walls that says, Rhaenyra is Queen of Bastards. And so like this whole like taint of bastardy and that whole like social issue of bastardy,
huge problem.
Of course that is an issue with Alan and Adam. And so the books do not engage with that at all, but it is an extremely like logical political issue that Rhaenyra would face. And so I think it's a really smart thing that they've added.
Yeah, it's a very logical way of creating the division between Rhaenyra and Corlys that sort of just arises. I mean, it has its reasons in the books, but I think this is a really, really well integrated additional reason. We've been wondering when exactly and how the reaction will be to Rhaenyra finding out that Adam and Alan, well, she had no idea about Alan, but Adam specifically is Corlys's bastard. And in this episode, it's just like, oh, okay, good for you. And until he asks to legitimize them. And I think it's really funny that Corlys says, you might have guessed, you might have figured this one out, but these are my bastard sons. And she's like, what? I am too busy thinking about 1,000 other things to have thought about that at all.
Yeah. I think Corlys is almost like kind of affronted that Rhaenyra didn't figure it out. Because
like,
if
what do you mean
Rhaenyra...
you weren't thinking about my sex life this entire time? Caraxes makes some whooping noises, which I'm a fan of.
I think at one point we hear Tessarian vocalizing because it's a unique, different dragon sound than what we've heard before. And I fucking love that, like, this show is done so thoughtfully that you can do, like, dragon call recognition of the unique calls of the different dragons. Like, I love that they cared enough to make them unique.
Me too. Ormond does say that for himself he would resist, but because there are other lives to consider, he has to lay his sword down. And that's a lie, obviously. Like, he's not going to lay his sword down. He continues fighting. But it is interesting that he phrases it like that.
Yeah, I like Ormond's vibe, which is like someone who's quite understated and mild and polite and proper, but beneath the surface, he's just like willing to do crazy shit. There are some new images on the tapestry in the opening sequence.
We've got Rhaenyra Ascendant, Triumphant, that's Cyrax in the background there, and she's got Daemon and Mysaria in tow. I love that the tapestry is depicting that this is the way history will remember these events.
Yeah.
So Rhaenyra takes it by Dragonfire and with Daemon and Mysaria. Like, that's what the history is telling us, that, like, the Rogue Prince and the White Worm were behind this. It also showed us Corlys killing Sharako Lohar in the tapestry, whereas we know that it was Alan who did that. So it's like history is ignoring the actions of this bastard and instead attributing it to his father.
Well, it's interesting that Alicent and Helena also appear on the tapestry. Yeah. And so the question is, like, how will history remember those two?
There's a rat. There's a rat amongst the swords of the Iron Throne.
Yeah. Blood on the swords and rats are bad omens, to be sure.
There are a lot of rats scurrying around the Red Keep. And it's funny that, like, at the end of that first council scene, Orwell says, oh, yeah, by the way, Aegon hanged all the rat catchers. As like an excuse for the writers to put all of these rats scurrying around in perilous moments for Rhaenyra. I know writers who use subtlety, and they're all cowards.
George Martin asked, after The Lord of the Rings, after Aragorn wins the throne, how did he rule? What did he do about the orcs? What did he do about economics?
Did he commit genocide on a bunch of orc babies?
Yeah, and so, like, George Martin is interested.
Tolkien just wrote, and then he ruled, like, well for fucking a century. And George is like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean he ruled well for that long?
Yeah, so that's what the story is doing now. Rhaenyra has taken the throne. The hero has taken the throne. And the question is, like, well, okay, like, how does the hero rule? And how does the hero deal with these difficult real-life issues? And so now Rhaenyra has to deal with tax policy and feeding the people and finding the gold and
dealing
making
with
decisions
Daeron.
About the staff and the Pope and Daeron and so that's what we're entering now.
And also, I'm sort of still in love with the former Queen Dowager.
Yeah.
We also see the common folk. Are some of them bleeding? Are those common folk?
There's certainly blood on the tapestry.
Yeah. There's folks bleeding, and then the tapestry rips apart as it goes to the Targaryen sigil and the ominous floating title text.
Yeah, I love how they're, like, using the physical texture and material of the tapestry as though this war is ripping apart the fabric of history itself, ripping the realm apart.
Yeah, that rocks, I must say.
So the title card has been evolving each episode, and there's now like pulsating red light, bloody red light pulsating around the title, which is very ominous and alludes to, like, future violence. I think it also alludes to Rhaenyra's period.
Yeah.
We were talking about, there's this moment in the books where Rhaenyra sits the throne, and when she comes down from the throne, she's bleeding. And the history books say that Rhaenyra must have cut herself on the throne, and that's why she's bleeding, and it's a bad omen, and that means that she won't be queen for very long. Maybe in the show, it'll be her period blood. Maybe it'll be menstrual blood in the show. And I sort of threw it out there as, like, a wacky idea, but it's one that sort of fits a lot of the themes of the story around, like, you know, gender and, like, women's bodies and how they're perceived by the greater world politically. But, like, as soon as Rhaenyra's period came up in the show, I was like, oh, maybe they're actually going to do it. Like, it doesn't happen this episode, but maybe next episode, Rhaenyra will hit the throne, and then we'll see blood from a period, and that will be used against her politically.
The same way that her body has been used against her politically from the very beginning, like in season 1, episode 6, when her milky nipples disempowered her political talking in that council meeting.
Yeah. The whole notion of blood is so important to this entire show in so many different ways. Like, blood as in, like, bloodlines and heredity, bloodlines as in, like, violence and war, bloodlines as in, like, you know, magic and sacrifice. Like, blood has so much meaning in so many different ways. And, like, the other thing this show is about gender and bodies and sexism. And like, I think that showing period blood would be, like, a logical thing to do next.
The blood of the reproductive cycle is, like, what other metaphor could you ask for?
Yeah, birth
Not even
death.
a metaphor. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Are they going to have to give Emma Darcy 2 Emmys for both of these episodes? We touched on the mood of this episode earlier, and I think a huge contributing factor to that is the soundscape. The bell chiming, the rats scurrying, the drums beating. It's all just ominous, foreboding, building in the background.
And it's distracted. Like, very often there's music and sound effects playing over dialogue, or like Rhaenyra's like in her head and she's like not quite connected to what's happening outside
conversations of her. Fade in and out because of what she's experiencing. Like, we are so in her head this episode.
I mean, that's the other thing that I can't wait to talk about is the High Septon, who says, like, what's his line? Yeah. His line is like,
dragons are a profane magic created in darkness and pride and lust. They are sinful creatures, are they not? They are created entirely of sin.
See, this has never been said before in a Game of Thrones show or book. The idea that dragons are a profane magic that were created in darkness and pride and lust for power. They destroy, but they do not create.
Every source indicates that dragons are just a creature that exists, but there are fucking little hints that the Valyrians created them.
Yeah, and that's something that House of the Dragon depicted with, like, since season 2, the opening tapestry has shown this, like, dragon with flaming wings and a human head and a sacrificial dagger, which connects to some of the most deep, arcane, esoteric fan theories. And I love that they evoke that from the High Septon. I love that the High Septon has, like, theological opinions about the nature of magic and dragons. Like, I love that there's, like, deep esoteric world building here in a scene that also makes perfect fucking political sense and character sense.
Yeah, I love deep lore world building bullshit, but it works best when it's buried in amongst characters speaking their minds to one another in ways that advance the plot.
Because the other way they do that is with Daemon, when he's talking with Rhaenyra on the balcony, and Daemon is like, hey, like, we are the Dragon Lords. We should conquer the world. We should take over Yi Ti.
I'm going to name drop some places from the fucking world book
they talk about the city of the Winged Men.
Insane.
One of the most obscure places in Game of Thrones lore, and they bring it up in this episode, and the reason why it works is that it's grounded in Daemon's character makes sense. He is that guy. He is that guy who wants to bring back the ancient evil Nazi dragon empire. He is that guy. And so of course he's yapping about Yi Ti. And in the course of the episode, it's so wonderful because Rhaenyra's like, why are we talking about the winged men and Yi Ti? I need to figure out my fucking tax policy. Yeah. This is such a good episode.
Dude, okay, so we are aligned. This episode's fucking fantastic. It's my favorite episode since season 2, episode 2. The thing is, like, we spent 40 minutes nitpicking, like, Tessarion, what are they going to do with the dragon? The fake Darren thing doesn't make any sense. But, like, when you get down to it, the characters and the plot and the themes in this episode are just like, everyone shut the fuck up. So now that Rhaenyra's become queen, like, we've talked about this before. She has 2 identities. She's a person and she's a politician. She's a woman and she's a queen. She's a mother and she's a warrior. As she's become queen, did you notice how she talks about her son Joffrey? She's like, oh, Joffrey's in the Vale. Send for him. He should be my heir. I need to raise him as my heir. It's not like, I can finally have my boy back.
Yeah.
It's not, bring my last son with Harwin, the man I loved, back to me. I've just now noticed that Luther Largent looks a lot like Harwin Strong and is also the commander of the City Watch. I see now why they are making Luther Largent prevalent.
Oh, what do you reckon are the odds on Rhaenyra having sex with Luthor Largent this season?
I think Rhaenyra might have sex with fucking anyone that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I think it's on the cards. But anyway, yeah, the Joffrey, sent for him, fuck it, he's my heir now. Like, she's no longer treating him like her baby. Like, it was sort of dismissive. Like, oh, Joffrey's in the Vale, bring him here, fuck it, why not?
Well, again, I think that Rhaenyra just, she doesn't have time to have those feelings. Hey, can we talk about Rhaenyra's first line in this episode?
The air is thick with ghosts.
I think it's a wonderful line.
Yeah.
And I think that it evokes everything that's strong about this show, which is the strong foundation. And Rhaenyra talks about her dead father, Viserys, who is in many ways the reason for this war and the reason why Rhaenyra wants to be queen. She wants to honor her dead father, who is so not worth it in a lot of ways, because he was a bad father and a bad king in a lot of ways.
I am shocked that the air is thick with ghosts isn't a line from A Song of Ice and Fire.
I think it's a wonderful line.
It sounds so George Martin.
It does sound so George Martin. And when I saw that line, I was like, is that from something? So apparently the line, the air is thick with ghosts, is from an 1881 Norwegian play by Henrik Ibsen called
Keep talking.
Ghosts. I know. Do you want to go down this rabbit hole with me?
Please give me the ghost hole.
The play Ghosts is about, quote, religion, venereal disease, incest, and euthanasia.
Oh my god.
It is so relevant to Rhaenyra here, who is grappling with the ghosts of everybody she's lost. Her father, the father of her children, Jace and Luke, the thousands that have died in her war. Like there's so many people. And I think that all this rumination in this play, this 1881 play, is so fucking relevant. Like, also with the ideas of like inherited disease, the idea of like sexual aggression, incest, religion, like it's so relevant.
Right.
Anyway, that was our Ghosts Corner. Daemon just spent the whole previous season seeing ghosts in Harrenhal. So it's actually really funny to me, like the vibe of this scene, where Rhaenyra is standing there sort of waxing poetic about all of her ghosts, and she's being so thoughtful and heartfelt. And then Daemon's like, oh yeah, fucking whatever. Let's talk about Ormond and Darren. Oh, you should kill him. It's actually just like when Daemon was talking to Ulf and Hugh.
Yeah.
And Ulf and Hugh were like, Daemon.
Oh my god, there's fucking weird shit going on at Harrenhal, man. I saw a goat, I saw an antler guy, and this witch told us to fuck off. And Daemon was like, I don't like any of that. Let's go do a dragon war.
Daemon refuses to acknowledge or express any of his vulnerabilities to anyone ever, so he just like is aggressive and hits Ulf instead. And it's like, it's similar with Rhaenyra. Like, Rhaenyra is his fucking wife, and Rhaenyra's talking about ghosts and feelings, and like, this is the perfect opportunity for Daemon to say, hey, like, by the way, Rhaenyra, like, I saw some stuff at Harrenhal.
I cut your head off in a dream, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel the need to apologize to you for that, but I didn't actually do it, but I still feel bad, so I don't know how to navigate this. I don't know how to navigate this is the main thing I'm feeling right here, Rhaenyra.
Daemon had the most emotionally raw and tumultuous experiences of his life recently, and he doesn't tell his wife. The most that he tells Rhaenyra is, I saw the prophecy and I believe in you.
Yeah.
And Daemon says, I have made my peace with Viserys. That is as much as he says.
I really like that that's all that he's willing to give.
The thing that happens at the end of this episode is Rhaenyra sends Daemon to the Vale. Obviously, what's going to happen there is Daemon will encounter his daughter, Rhaenyra. And so I'm so interested, like, will Daemon show his vulnerabilities to Rhaenyra? Daemon didn't express himself with Mysaria properly. He doesn't express himself with Rhaenyra properly. He doesn't express himself with his brother Viserys properly, or Lena, his wife.
Yep.
Like, wouldn't it be so interesting if the one person who Daemon finally does manage to bare his soul to is his daughter Rhaenyra, when Rhaenyra is also at rock bottom.
Yeah,
like,
she's
Rhaenyra,
broken. She's done. She's eviscerated.
maybe because Rhaenyra is so rock bottom and fucked up, maybe Daemon will feel safe and able to express his own vulnerabilities to his daughter. And I'm just so interested if Daemon will finally be able to have feelings.
The only people Daemon talks to in this episode are Rhaenyra, Mysaria, and Ormond. Daemon has had sex with Rhaenyra and Mysaria, so what does this say about Ormond?
There's no proof they didn't have a go at it. So he's being very detached, and he's saying that, yeah, I don't care about your ghosts. we have the little prince, and I reckon we should have incinerated the High Towers, but whatever. And I guess, in some sense, if Rhaenyra had let Daemon incinerate the Hightower army, then the Hightower army wouldn't have betrayed them and taken Tumbleton.
Yeah,
So,
doesn't it suck when Daemon is proven correct? Is Joffrey going to see Luther Largent when he gets to King's Landing from the Vale and be like, what's going on here?
if Joffrey calls Luther Largent daddy, then we're in the money. Last episode, Helena was reading a book.
I can't believe we missed this.
I know, and the book had a butterfly in it, and that's fucking bizarre.
Well, the journal entry was about how toxic the butterfly was.
Yeah, so there was literally a book about a toxic butterfly last episode, and the reason why that's insane is that author Georgia R. Martin made an angry blog post complaining at length about this show,
this season of this show,
and about the showrunner's plans for season 3,
specifically Helena in season 3.
And the title of that blog post by George Martin was "Beware the Butterflies," and he talked about this concept of toxic butterflies, which is like the cause and effect or the on-flow effects of changes
that you might initially think are minor changes, but turn out to have major ramifications.
And he was complaining about things like Maelor and about things like Sheep Stealer and Rhaenyra. And so it's so weird that the show would put a butterfly in the show as though alluding to the author's criticism of the show.
Genuinely hilarious to me. Also, in that exact same scene, like the shot before that, Helena says, "That's strange. It isn't the season." I take that as saying Helena is alluding to David Zaslav cutting the last 2 episodes of House of the Dragon season 2 and crudely sticking them on to season 3.
Yeah, Helena is saying...
It's so fucking funny.
Helena's saying, why are we in season 3? We should be in season 2. I think that the creators are like taking the controversy and the criticism in like the only way you can take it, which is with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And Helena is a very fun vehicle to use to do all of that. It is fun that they have made Helena a subtly fourth wall breaking, bug loving weirdo who wants chickens. I mean, no notes.
Oh, Rhaenyra has a conversation with one of her siblings for the first time ever. And it's not her sibling, it's a fake Darren. But then she does talk with Helena later this episode, so I guess we can finally check that off our bingo cards. Rhaenyra actually talks to a sibling. And like, it's a major plot point this episode that no one knows Darren.
Yeah.
So I like that makes sense, I guess.
The thing they did that was good last season was that Alicent and Gwaine talked about Darren.
Yeah. And
it moved Alicent to hear that one of her kids is apparently well-adjusted and not a murderer. And I feel like they need to pay that off a little bit more by showing us a bit more concern from Alicent for Darren, because we see a little bit of that this episode, but I would like to see more.
I mean, she does seem pretty distraught by the concept of Darren being here at all. And even then is pretty upset at the idea that he would be sent to the wall, which is all fair enough.
But that's the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
Like, she should be jumping for joy that Darren is being
she?
sent to the wall instead of being beheaded.
I think it's perfectly fine that she's still annoyed by it.
Oh, yeah.
In season 2, episode 6... I keep messing up season 2, episode 5 and 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6. The scene after Gwaine and Alicent have that discussion about Darren, about how, he's actually not, he's kind, he's a good lad. He sings, he plays the lute, he's good with a sword, and the ladies like him. The scene after that, Helena is like looking at her bug cages, and she's like, this one stopped singing about one of them. So I think that could be about Darren changing over the course of the war, because of course in that scene Gwaine and Kristen are going off to their death march through the Riverlands.
I love Rhaenyra's body language when she's talking to Darren. Like, she's trying to sort of be engaging and kind to this young boy, and she's also trying to be a strong queen dealing with a rebel dragon rider. And it's like she's trying to navigate a lot. Like, there's no social script for this situation, and she's doing her best.
And then it's really funny when she gets absolutely nothing back from the kid, because obviously, like, the kid, if the kid opens his mouth, it's like, it's all over.
I do like that Rhaenyra is questioning Darren about the Greens' plans. Like, that's just a simple logical thing that like Rhaenyra should be questioning everyone on the other team to learn what their plots could be. And sometimes characters just don't do that in the show. I'm glad that Rhaenyra is asking smart questions.
I love that Daemon says, "You're going to have to kill him," and then the Stockhausen starts playing again. There's no gold in King's Landing. It's gone. They took it all. And everyone's like, well, Orwyle must know. He's the one green counselor we have left. And he's like, no, actually, those guys hated me. They didn't want to talk to me about their plans or anything. Like, he's insisting that he wasn't a part of that, which is fun.
Orwyle does acknowledge that Thailand was responsible for moving the gold. I think Orwyle is saying that he doesn't know where the gold went specifically.
Yeah, unclear where Thailand put all of his money.
Yes, one of those fun things that happens in war. Sometimes the accounting gets a little hazy. Money gets siphoned around to mysterious places.
I do find it funny that Rhaenyra refers to Mysaria as her mistress, and Daemon's like, hold on a moment.
Yeah, I like this little rivalry between Mysaria and Daemon for Rhaenyra's political trust and or romantic interest.
I do like that Corlys says, we can assume that Tywin Lannister is dead.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, I mean, Tywin was last seen falling overboard in armor, but Corlys did the same thing and Corlys survived. So why shouldn't Tywin be alive?
Well, Corlys did have 2 dragon riders and the most loyal bastard son on the planet looking for him.
Well, for all we know, Thailand is running about the Crownlands with the Triarchy pirates right now, having a grand old time. We saw one of the other Lannisters being pushed out, and the Lannister, like, broke his back on a rock down there. So maybe Thailand clung to a rock. He might be fine.
He might be fine.
Of course, Tywin Lannister is a horse, and horses aren't very good at swimming, so it might be...
That's not true. Haven't you ever seen water polo?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
You can do the analysis today. I'm here for the zingers.
So Rhaenyra is like, okay, like, it's a big problem that we don't have any gold, but, like, I really need to have a coronation. It needs to be, quote, proper. And I find it really funny that what they don't mention is the other issue with Aegon's coronation. It was in haste. And also, a giant fire-breathing dragon burst through the floor like the Kool-Aid Man and slaughtered hundreds of civilians.
Let's not do that one.
Like, I'm thinking this time, let's not have a dragon crash the coronation. Like,
maybe we'll hire a clown or something instead. Orwyle says that Aemond killed everyone at Harrenhal, and he specifically mentions that Aemond killed the Castellan and his sons. And then it cuts to Daemon, who's like sort of frowning a bit because Simon Strong was Daemon's dad for a bit there.
Yeah. Alice told Daemon that he would die at Harrenhal. I wonder if that's still on Daemon's mind.
Yeah, I think Daemon's thinking about Alice. Daemon basically asks if Alice is alive.
Yeah.
And Orwyle says, I don't fucking know. No one talks to me about witches.
I don't have a witch update for you, sorry, Daemon.
Rhaenyra says that to the slayer of Aemond One Eye, grant Harrenhal. So if Alice catches wind of that, Alice wants Harrenhal. So I don't know. Just do it.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Just do it.
Theoretically, if Alice kills Aemond, Alice gets Harrenhal. It's very funny how everyone's always wanting Harrenhal.
Even though, like, Simon Strong says to Daemon a few times in season 2, this place sucks. Don't try to rule this place. It's a bad idea. Daemon says, how long must we bother ourselves with trifles such as keeping people fed?
Yeah, Daemon makes it abundantly clear that he's not useful for ruling. And so Rhaenyra wisely gets him out of the council room.
And as the episode goes on and, like, more and more bullshit is thrown at her and, like, she gets a period and she sees her dead son's ghost. And she has to deal with Alicent and Darren and, oh my god, it's all happening. She starts to make worse decisions.
Yeah.
What a great idea. I mean, we said it, but, like, what a great idea to have this episode framed around just Rhaenyra's first shitty days as queen.
Because it feels like one long, shitty, difficult day.
Yeah.
In a way that it's not going to feel like quite such an ordeal if it was mixed in with scenes from other characters.
What an extreme decision. What a brilliant decision.
Yeah, it's bold. It's ambitious.
Luther Largent says, Rhaenyra, you need to appoint a Queensguard because, let's note, all of Rhaenyra's Queensguard are dead.
Yeah.
Eric is dead, Stefan is dead, Laurent Marbrand is dead. I think that's all she had with her. And then all of the other Kingsguard were Aegon's Lickspittles and Kristen Cole, of course. So she says, I don't want to deal with that. Let Daemon appoint the Queensguard. The one time Rhaenyra did appoint a Kingsguard, it was Kristen Cole. So I think it's pretty reasonable that she doesn't want to do it again.
Yeah, it's like, is Daemon the best person to choose a Queensguard? Maybe not, but like, who else has Rhaenyra got?
Yeah.
You know?
I love that the candle guy is like, we're out of candles. There's no tallow. We have to get more candles.
Yeah, no one thinks about it when they want to become king, but like, as it turns out, when you're in charge of the continent, you're also in charge of the candle supply.
Yeah.
And like, no one thinks about it, but it's going to be a problem. What is Aragorn's tax policy? What is Aragorn's candle policy?
And I just love that this is the first of the frivolous problems thrown at Rhaenyra. We're running out of candles. And like, to this guy, because it's his job, it's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
But Rhaenyra's like, I just sent ravens to Casterly Rock asking for my entire treasury back.
Yeah.
I like that someone brings up Hightower Bannermen control the arbor, because that's clearly someone like, oh my god, we're going to run out of wine.
Yeah. Well, the Red Keep runs on wine.
Yeah, wine and candles. That's all we've got.
And someone's like, oh, the matter of the bedchamber. I wasn't sure who to ask. Oh, which bedchamber for which? Like, I love that. And it's like, what we're seeing is just like, it's we have staffing issues. We have managerial issues. We need middle managers because it's not right for the bedchamber person to have to talk to the queen. But there's no in-betweener right now.
What happened here isn't just that the president changed. It's that Rhaenyra gutted the State Department, and now all the people who are in the government are like, well, I don't know who to talk to anymore.
And they're still reeling from that time that Larys murdered half of the staff and replaced them with his own weirdos. And who the hell knows what kinds of people Larys installed as the staff of the Red Keep. So, it's just like, it's an institution and an organization that is reeling from, a very short election cycle and a very quick turnaround time.
Tumultuous times.
Man, I love these really weird sounds, these ominous sound effects in between each scene.
Where is my gold?
Rhaenyra says, where is my gold? And Alicent's like, huh? Like, she looks over her shoulder as though it's like, huh? What?
I fucking love how Rhaenyra is like, oh, sure, I'm going to believe that you had nothing to do with the plot to make Aegon king. And Alicent says, well, even my father hid that from me. I would ask him yourself, but you killed him. And Rhaenyra was like, oh, whatever. Are you still mad about that?
No, yeah, all of that makes sense to me. Like Rhaenyra would be incredulous that Alicent and Orwell knew nothing, but it also is true that
we saw it.
They killed the people who knew stuff, which is Otto and Jasper and Tyland. So like, yeah, this does all make perfect sense. Rhaenyra says, "Who rides sheep stealer?" And I really want Alicent to say, "What the fuck is a sheep stealer?" Because like Alicent is the kind of person who probably doesn't have an updated dragon spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Yeah. She doesn't know what a sheep stealer is.
Well, Alicent's saying, so you're telling me I'm going to have to wait, like my son has to die for me to do what I want, right?
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. And Rhaenyra is saying, well, yeah, my son just died, so I can do what I want. Yeah, gee, fucking imagine having to lose a son for your political needs.
Rhaenyra talks to Alicent, and it sucks for everyone.
It doesn't suck for me. I loved it.
They are angry with each other, as they should be.
I really do love the scenes between Rhaenyra and Alicent this episode are so fun because this first one, they're like guns blazing. Like, fuck you, you killed my dad, and fuck you, I thought you were supposed to keep Aegon here so I could kill him. Like, fuck you all around. And Helena's just like, can I get a different room? Like, the hotel staff here are nice, but it'd be nice to have a different room. Anyway, and then later on in the episode, after Rhaenyra's been dealing with bullshit as queen, she comes back to Alicent, and it's a lot more chill. It's a lot more understanding.
Both Rhaenyra and Alicent, for their entire lives, they have had to put up with a lot of bullshit, and they've had to swallow their own desires and their own pride, and to be subservient to other people's regimes. And I think that is why Rhaenyra and Alicent are really good at putting aside their differences to try and work towards a better situation. And I think that they're making a point about gender here. But I also like the aspect of Helena being like not listened to and having some inscrutable concerns that no one else quite understands or cares about. And I adore Fia Saban's performance with the body language of Helena, like the way that she holds her hands and the way that she tilts her body. It's so like, it's really subtle, but it's very eccentric and it's very off kilter, and it really just hammers home that Helena has an entirely different set of feelings and metaphysical concerns that no one else quite gets.
Alicent's so much fun now that she's just like unburdened by political ambition.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to me when she says, oh my God, you can just declare that Aegon is dead. No one knows what he looks like, and he's like physically useless at this point.
Yeah.
Just say that he's dead, and when Larys comes back, say that that's an imposter. And Rhaenyra interprets that as Alicent trying to win her son's life back.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting. Like, obviously, the death of sons weighs heavily on Rhaenyra at this point in time. But Alicent, I don't think that even if that was what she was doing, in what way is that like saving Aegon? In what way is that bringing him back? I think that is Alicent being purely pragmatic.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra just wants to interpret that as she's still cloying for her son's life.
So Helena says, did you feel better about the death of Jace after you killed Otto? And it's interesting because like it's accusatory, like it's accusing Rhaenyra of like killing Otto for her own personal sense of revenge. But I think from Helena's point of view, it's more Helena expressing her grief for her son, Jaehaerys.
Yes, it's like, oh, would that make me feel better if I killed someone's dad?
She just looks in the camera,
She looks
doesn't
directly at the camera.
That's so funny.
Oh my God.
This show is so fucking silly and playful.
Yeah.
I love it so much. So Rhaenyra says to Helena, hey, me and your mum, we agreed to kill
your brother
Aegon. And Helena's like, guy, I can't believe that just happened. Get a load of this.
You guys seeing this shit?
Like, it's so crazy. I mean, it is a deranged line for Rhaenyra to say.
Yeah.
It is deranged
To Helena.
that this is how Helena finds this out, is like, yeah, me and your mum agreed to kill your brother and husband, Aegon. And she's like, guy, that just happened. That's hilarious.
I fucking love that Rhaenyra keeps demanding information of Alicent that there's no reasonable fucking way she would know. Where are these dragons? Where did they go? As though Alicent's invented sonar.
We should say that obviously, like, in the books, all of this is completely different. In the books, Alicent and Rhaenyra hate each other and want each other dead. In the books, Rhaenyra just imprisons Alicent.
I know, I think it's way more fun that the characters have an actual relationship.
Yeah. Alicent says, will you blame me only for what men have done? So, like, once again, like, the irony is that Rhaenyra and Alicent are yelling at each other when it's really more Otto and
Daemon.
Ironrod and Viserys and Daemon and Blood and Cheese and all these fucking assholes who are the ones who have created this horror. And the tragedy is that Rhaenyra and Alicent are fighting each other for what neither of them ever wanted.
For the crumbs of justice. Rhaenyra, like, walks over to the other side of the room to have a moment. She's exasperated and she's leaning on a table. And Alicent seems like a little bit terrified because yesterday Rhaenyra very suddenly executed Alicent's dad. And Alicent's probably questioning, like, what Rhaenyra is capable of.
Well, I mean, Rhaenyra should be questioning what Alicent is capable of. I mean, let's not forget that Alicent slashed Rhaenyra's arm open with a knife and demanded her son's eyeball in season 1.
It was a joke. You're taking it too seriously.
Like, I'm trying to look at what kind of cutlery Alicent has in her room because Alicent should not be allowed knives. I like the language here where Rhaenyra doesn't say, I command you to say Aegon is dead, and she doesn't say, Mysaria, go and question the staff. She says, let us proclaim Aegon dead. And she says, let us do this and that. Like, she's using the royal we and this like, let us language. And it sounds all...
Let Joffrey be brought back from the Vale. It's passive and impersonal.
I love the flurry of activity behind them in all
so
of
much
these
is happening.
scenes. Like, just showing us all the little annoying tasks and things that need to be done.
Mysaria says that the Red Keep is both larger and smaller than she imagined.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that Mysaria had spies in the Red Keep in season 1. She had Talia, who like lit those candles, and Mysaria informed on Rhaenyra to Otto in season 1. I kind of wish they acknowledged that more. I mean, I guess that Rhaenyra doesn't know.
I don't think anyone knows that, honestly. Who knew that? Otto knew it. Arik and Eric Cargill knew it. They're all dead. But also Aemond and Kristen saw that happen.
Well, Daemon knows that Mysaria sold Aegon to Otto in season 1, episode 9.
Yes.
So
true.
Daemon knows that Mysaria worked for Otto, and I feel like Rhaenyra
God.
should ask Mysaria about that. And there's the rivalry between Mysaria and Daemon right now. So it could be in Daemon's interests to go to Rhaenyra and say, hey, do you know that your Mistress of Whisperers betrayed you to Otto multiple times in the past? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, Daemon brought Myzaria's work with the Hightowers up in the previous episode, and she said, look, dude, that was just like, they were in charge. Who else was I gonna fucking work with?
And I like that Mysaria is continuing to try and advocate for the common people, and I love how explicit they get with it in this episode, with the poor
Especially
people
with
saying,
Sylvie.
hey, give us the rich people's food, like, let's tax the rich and feed the hungry.
Sylvie shows up in the throne room to say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you did a socialism?
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra's like, I'm gonna try that once and see what happens. Okay, so Rhaenyra and Mysaria are having an Aaron Sorkin powwow through the corridors of the Red Keep, and Rhaenyra's like, well, why shouldn't I kill Darren? And then she sees Jace.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of thoughts going on there. Her response to that is to say, well, why shouldn't I have her son stricken down? Like, after all, I lost my son. But also what must be going on through her head is, do I want to give my best friend the same pain?
Yeah.
Do I want her to go through what I'm going through?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like she can lose Jace and be like, well, I want to kill Alicent's son for revenge for my son. Or you can go, well, I could never kill someone else's son because I've experienced the pain of losing a son, and no one should have to feel that. Like, it's perfectly valid reasoning either way. But yeah, I mean, starting to see the ghosts of the dead is like, it's a metaphor for grief, but it's also, is Rhaenyra going loopy in the way that, Daemon was going a bit loopy in Harrenhal?
She just needs a few good night's sleep.
There are mountains to be dealt with, and I have none yet to trust with them. It's an odd sentence, isn't it?
I think she's just saying she's got a lot on her plate. It's another scene in the throne room, and we still don't see the Viserys statue.
Outrageous. She has a chat with the High Septon, and I like how the High Septon is standing between her and the throne. It's like the church is another obstacle between her and power.
But this is definitely the same High Septon who crowned Aegon, anointed him. Is that not the Viserys statue? No, it's the same statue. That's the Viserys statue.
Okay, it seems like the Viserys statue is there. But yeah, I mean, as we were saying, it's fucking insane that they did not show us the face of the Viserys statue in the scenes where Otto was executed and talked about Viserys.
If you don't remember those few shots from season 2, episode 1, like, you're not gonna remember there's a Viserys statue. Like, we need to be shown the guy's face. Rhaenyra needs to say, oh my god, there's a giant statue of my dad looming over me.
Yeah, she's got to acknowledge it.
It's just annoying to me that it's a background detail that hasn't been pointed out. I do love that he takes a moment to consider, am I about to tell the Dragon Queen to go get fucked?
Do you think that he would have said this if it was a man with a sword?
No.
If it was Daemon standing in front of him, would the High Septon be this rebellious?
Well, if he was, Daemon would just kill him.
And get a new High Septon.
Yeah, the thing is, when the High Septon dies, just another one shows up, and then it's fine. I do love that Rhaenyra says, well, this happened. Because it happened, that means the gods meant it to happen. So how are you, the High Septon, standing here? Like, they're having a theological debate, basically.
It's a very funny, like, low-rent baby's first theological argument that she's having with the Pope in the throne room. It's like
well, I'm yelling at you right now, so God must have meant for me to yell at you right now.
I think the Pope's level of, like, theological, philosophical argument is, like, a few degrees higher than where Rhaenyra is at. But also legitimate questions. If God is good and God is omnipotent, then how is he not in my support? Good questions.
Ask Pascal. Maybe he's figured it out by now.
This dude is literally like pointing fingers at Rhaenyra and telling her off like a foolish little child. Like, would he do that to a man?
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I love the High Septon saying that dragons are an evil magic. They were created in darkness and pride and lust. Like Azor Ahai slew his beloved wife, Nissa Nissa. And there are all these other parallels of the Bloodstone Emperor and the Amethyst Empress and Grey King and Winged Knight and all these dudes, and it all seems as though like someone killed a woman to get dragons. Like that seems to be the myth.
I mean, we see that at the fucking opening shot of every episode of House of the Dragons, do we not?
So yeah, I really like this.
I do love that Rhaenyra plays it like a dragon appeared to me in my greatest need. So Sea Smoke to Rhaenyra is like a prophet.
Yeah,
of
Adam,
the gods.
Yeah, Adam is Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also her like ex-husband's dragon as well.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, that's Rhaenor coming back to save me.
Yeah, which is so interesting.
I so wish that she or someone else said something like that.
Yeah, I would like a little bit more of that unpacked, because like she says that Sea Smoke is like a gift from the gods, but I feel like we haven't like felt that.
Oh, enough. I felt that at the start of season 2, episode 7, when she has that meeting on the beach with Adam, and it's like tense at first, but then she's like, well, you appear to have saved my skin in an immeasurable fashion. Rhaenyra grabs the hands of the Pope, saying, a magic lizard told me that I need to be Jesus. And he's like, this is quite affronting to me.
Rhaenyra fails the charisma check. She presses the exact wrong option in the speech tree, and the Septon is not pleased.
It's just so funny to me. And yeah, if Rhaenyra was Daemon, this wouldn't be happening. That's a Viserys statue on the right there. Just by the by, everyone. Do not make an enemy of the faith. Underestimated at your peril. So it looks like they're setting up Rhaenyra to have some sort of ongoing conflict with the faith.
Remember when Cersei unwittingly unleashed the faith? That was funny.
Top 10 masterful gambits from Cersei Lannister.
Top 10 self-owns by Cersei. That one's not even in the top 5. It is also really funny that Rhaenyra sees Adam as a gift from the gods. And when Rhaenyra talks about the gods, she might be talking about the Faith of the Seven. She might be talking about some vague Valyrian gods. But you know what kind of god Adam has met? A green man.
Oh,
Adam
shit.
has met like the old gods, the green seers, the barn owl witch. And so like Adam has had like some pretty significant like metaphysical experiences, which are really probably not at all what Rhaenyra thinks of as the gods.
It's a very different religious experience when you eat Del the goat stew.
For sure. So it's like there are some very different like visions of God going on here.
Yeah.
And like Daemon has had his Weirwood tree vision experience, which was also prompted by the old gods, but included dragons. And it's like
Daemon's idea of what constitutes God must be very complicated at this point in time, because to begin with, it was probably just me, I am God, and also Caraxes is God. We are God, Dragon is God, Rhaenyra has Dragon, Dragon God, Balerion Skull, Viserys, God, confusing, he's not God. And then he meets Alice Rivers, who is the old gods, and she's like, come look at these gods with me. And then he sees a green man in the woods next to the God tree, and there's a God vision with the dragons, but there's also a guy at the tree who is himself a Targaryen. So I think Bloodraven's definitely God, but there's a lot more God going on in there than I think Daemon has room for in his little head.
Yeah, Daemon has had to expand his cosmology a bit lately, and I'm not sure he's thought about it enough.
Then in this episode, he's like, we're gods.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what most of us do when our religious views of the world are challenged. We go, I don't really get that stuff. I'm pretty sure my intuition is what is the correct intuition.
I think I was right when I was 6, actually.
Yeah. I don't know what the goat is, but I'm pretty sure what my family believes about God is what's true about God.
They wouldn't have lied to me. Even though my brother has been saying the whole time that we shouldn't trust the dragons.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra has supper with Corlys and the boys. And it's a bit hilarious, honestly. It's also very tense. And Corlys thinks that he's the main character here. Like, my family's come so far. I finally found my heir. And all I need from you is a simple word just to make it so. And Rhaenyra was like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
And imagine like saying, so I found your dead son's replacement as my heir, and all I need you to do is delegitimize your entire rule. It's quite simple, actually. You just need to say one word. I love how awkwardly and quickly Corlys says, Alan of Hull and his brother Adam are my sons. Like, he just rushes those words out like he wants it over and done with immediately.
Corlys has definitely gone back to more of his season 1 self, where he's like, I have a goal, I need a thing for my legacy and for my name, and if I can just get this, then I can die happy, you know?
Yeah, he's like pointed himself at a singular goal, and everything that gets in the way of that is just stupid, and it's like, why are we doing this? I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Unlike season 2, where like he didn't have as much of a clear purpose or goal or obstacle. It is very curious that Corlys says Alan will be his heir when, in the books at least, Adam is older than Alan. So Adam would be the heir. I don't know if they're changing the birth order in the show or if they are fucking disinheriting Adam for some reason. It's very odd.
I'm sticking to my guns. Abubakar looks older than Clinton Liberty. I'm going to say Alan's older. Something that we didn't talk about when we were talking about Rhaenyra seeing Baelor in the corridor is that it happens right after Corlys asks her to legitimize Alan and Adam.
Yeah. So you're saying that Baelor is being disinherited of Driftmark.
That is true. Like,
and Rhaenyra is potentially being disinherited of Driftmark.
Well, Baelor sort of disinherited herself of Driftmark last season when Corlys asked Baelor to be his heir.
Yeah, but no one asked Rhaenyra.
That's true. No one asked Rhaenyra anything, actually.
Rhaenyra, as Corlys's granddaughter, Rhaenyra is the heir to Driftmark right now, right? Because Joffrey is heir to the throne.
Oh, yeah, shit.
So Rhaenyra is heir to Driftmark, and nobody cares about that, or her opinion.
Wow.
Rhaenyra said she would start a new order.
Uh-huh.
Rhaenyra has made suggestions that she'll start a feminist revolution.
The fucking first thing she does as queen is confine Alicent and Helena. I think it's coming to the fore now that Rhaenyra is not necessarily going to follow through on that promise she made to Rhaenys all those years ago.
Yeah, well, that's a big question that's hanging over this series. Is Rhaenyra committed to some kind of
reform,
new order that is more equal for women?
Yeah,
or is she just going to do what's expedient?
Is it about making the world better for women, or is it about Rhaenyra transforming herself into a masculine enough woman to be taken seriously by the peers of the realm?
Yeah, which is what the show's about. Like, Alicent tried to work within the system, and that didn't work. And Rhaenyra's like trying to work within the system in a different way by like taking on masculinity, while also saying she'll change the system.
Early on, Rhaenyra rebelled completely against the system, right? That's what was happening in season 1. And then she found that she had to work within the system. And Alicent's had basically the opposite story. She was forced to work within the system, and now she's breaking out of it.
Yeah, no, ruling's easy. You just gotta like defeat gender.
Literally just make the right decisions. Also, Baelor's no longer going to be the fucking queen. There's another thing she's being disinherited from, sort of.
Which they haven't said or talked about at all.
Like, Alan could have talked about that, but he didn't.
Like, I've been complaining for a while that Baelor hasn't done much or felt much or said much, and like, she was going to be the queen and now she's not, and I feel like it's a great thing to talk about to give us an insight into Baelor's world.
Okay, here's the thing. So Corlys wakes up in season 1, episode 10, having like been comatose and grievously wounded in the previous battle. I think, did he suffer like, was there a switch? Did he flick a switch?
He lost his mojo.
That then got flipped back on.
Yeah.
When he again almost drowned.
Yeah, I think each time you dunk Corlys into the ocean, he just resets his entire personality. Yeah. So Rhaenyra walks down the hall and sees Baelor, and it's very weird, and the music is very unsettling, and Rhaenyra and Baelor face each other, and they don't talk to each other at night, so they keep walking, and it's fucking weird. And I think that it's not a hallucination, but I think Rhaenyra thinks it might be a hallucination.
Yeah. I think Baelor's there. But Rhaenyra's not sure. I think like this is the first, like, obviously Jace wasn't there. That was her seeing shit. But I think now she's doubting her own perception. I think that's the idea.
Yes. I think that because because Rhaenyra had the hallucination of Jace, she's not sure if Baela is a hallucination or not. And like, I mean, she also is just awkward with Baela because Baela is her dead son's fiance and also is being disinherited of both the throne and Driftmark now.
And Rhaenyra just refused to legitimize her half uncles.
It's a parallel to the scene on the stairs with Aegon and Helena.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, where they just walk past. They have so much to say to each other. They need to talk to each other for their own sakes, and they just can't. Aegon can't bring himself to say anything.
But I think the show is asking us, hey, is Rhaenyra okay?
She's also like sleep deprived.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And lost in grief.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I mean, the whole point is that she's feeling very off and stressed and a bit loopy, which isn't like Targaryen madness TM necessarily, but it could be.
I think it's more fun if it's just like the human body going through shit.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, and I think that is what it should be. We cannot not compare Rhaenyra to Daenerys here, the Dragon Queen who's taken King's Landing with dragons and is struggling to
keep it all together.
So when Rhaenyra starts seeing visions of Baela and isn't quite sure if she's there, I think we've got to question, are we meant to interpret this as the beginnings of some kind of madness? I think we can't not wonder. Rhaenyra sees Baela, isn't sure if she's a ghost, looks at her bed, does not get in her bed, walks down the hall to Daemon. Like, maybe she's like partly thrown off by seeing Baela.
Yeah.
Baela might be really on Rhaenyra's mind. She doesn't really give much indication of that directly, but like, I think that part of the reason why Rhaenyra sleeps with Daemon is because she was thrown off by seeing Baela, Daemon's daughter.
Yeah. Also, Rhaenyra did see a ghost earlier today.
Yeah.
And now she's like, she does ask in the next scene, is Baela back? So she is considering if Baela is a ghost. Rhaenyra's coming to sleep with her husband because she's scared of ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I saw a ghost. Can I sleep with you? Like, that is sort of cute. But
it is.
The other ghost Rhaenyra is scared of sleeping with is Viserys. That's Viserys' bed. I wouldn't want to sleep there either.
And the irony is that Daemon was driven mad by ghosts last season.
And he hasn't told anyone.
Rhaenyra and Daemon could have such a good ghost chat right now.
Imagine, bring Ulf and Hugh in to talk about the weird shit about Harrenhal.
Yeah.
Hey, we saw some ghosts. We saw a goat. There's no evidence the goat wasn't a ghost.
I think if everyone just sat down and talked about the various phantasms and specters that they've spotted, I think everyone would be better friends.
No one wants to admit that they're going through shit.
No one wants to. Here's the thing. No one wants to be the first person to admit that they saw a ghost. If everyone wants someone else to say it first. How do you feel about Rhaenyra and Daemon sleeping together? Like, I think Daemon is stoked.
Daemon's stoked. Rhaenyra is probably just like scared and wanted something to lean on. That's her leaning right there. Yeah, so he's going to see it in a completely different way to what it actually is, I think.
Yeah. Mysaria might have feelings about this.
Yes.
Because Mysaria is trying to separate Daemon and Rhaenyra.
Yeah. They were having a competition for second place in Rhaenyra's heart last episode.
And Mysaria and Rhaenyra have both been abused by Daemon in various ways.
So for Rhaenyra to come crawling back to the wild dragon's bed.
Myzaria's got to disapprove of this in the least. It's really interesting, all of these like uneasy music stings between scenes, because sometimes these uneasy music stings happen after something genuinely bad and scary happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes the ominous music plays just at the end of a scene. And I think it's this interesting thing of like, some of the discomfort is because Rhaenyra's on her period. And some of the discomfort is because genuinely fucked up political stuff is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like Rhaenyra feels
personal and political.
Rhaenyra's feeling bad and uncomfortable no matter what happens.
Yeah, but in like several different domains of life.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost hard to tell what kind of discomfort she's experiencing. Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, am I cross about this for good reason, or am I uncomfortable because I'm on my period?
There's so much pain, I don't know what to feel. It also reminds me, so remember that weird little sequence in season 2, episode 6, I think it was. I keep doing this with episodes 5 and 6 of season 2, but like the one where she's playing with her kids. And then she looks off in the distance and there's that spectacular shot of the dust through the air.
Yeah.
And it's just this weird little sequence that like, it's unclear what exactly was trying to be conveyed, but it conveyed it really well.
Yeah.
And then also, remember when Rhaenyra and Mysaria made out? Do you remember that bit?
Oh, sure do.
And then the music was all like evil and concerned. It's like, what do you mean? This is awesome.
That's a great comparison. Yeah, the sort of ominous music
ominous.
after the kiss, during the kiss, it was sort of inexplicable in the same way that a lot of the weird ominous music in this episode is kind of inexplicable. It's like, is this really something that we should be worried about, or is this just here to make us feel weird? But yeah, no, the dust shot as well, you're so right. Like there's this shot here where Rhaenyra's in bed looking at the curtains.
That's so fun.
Dancing and undulating like a ghost,
just,
right?
I think we said it in that Dragon Time. It's just like, what a way to put us in her head.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to mean anything specifically, but we can project onto it whatever we imagine Rhaenyra is thinking. It's giving us a canvas to project our thoughts onto.
But Claire Kilner is so fucking good.
Yeah, she's awesome. But I love how like one dancing, undulating curtain just sort of fades into another undulating curtain, as though like, did Rhaenyra sleep at all, or did like one moment blend into the other? You know, Rhaenyra is having a bit of a Harrenhal moment at the moment.
Yes,
she's demon haunted. She's not sleeping properly.
Yep, Harrenhal and King's Landing actually have a lot in common.
Well, she said this place is full of ghosts.
Yeah.
You know? So,
it is full of ghosts. The same way Harrenhal is. There's an inexplicable weirwood here in House of the Dragon, just like there is in Harrenhal.
Yeah.
And they were built like not too far apart from one another.
Yeah.
On the site of something else.
And I think that the Red Keep is full of ghosts for us as well as viewers, because the Red Keep
that's such a fun point.
Where most of Game of Thrones takes place.
Yeah, we're looking at the ghosts of Tywin and Cersei and Tyrion and Joffrey.
Yeah.
And I could name a lot more characters.
I bet you could.
Janos Slint. Now that's a commander of the City Watch who does not look like Joffrey Valarian's father.
So Rhaenyra gets ready to sit the throne and take petitions for the first time, and she's helped by her handmaiden, Alinda Massey.
Oh, so good to have you back, Alinda. Alinda and Rhaenyra have a little debate about what she's going to wear, and I love that they include this stuff, because not only is it just like real as fuck that Rhaenyra would have to do this, but like they are putting a lot of meaning behind all of this. Like they're not just debating what she's wearing; they're debating the content, the character of her rule.
Yeah. I love how they're acknowledging like the political significance of what the ruler wears. Like she doesn't want jewels because they're not practical or important, but she's thinking about, I should wear the sword. And then Alinda says, well, maybe that's too martial or aggressive when you're trying to help the people. And so they decide on a chain which has gravity.
So Alinda Massey knows what gravity is, so that's its own thing. Also, Alinda Massey is completely right about the chain. Like the fit in the next scene, completely brought together by it.
Oh yeah.
Dead on, Alinda. Good work.
Well, yeah,
what would we ever do without you?
Exactly. This is why we needed Alinda this whole time. Like, Alinda is clearly smart and thoughtful and political and has a good eye for fashion.
And she really knows Rhaenyra, right?
Yes, she's been here from the start. And Rhaenyra asked for her. So it's like, I'm really curious where this relationship's going to go.
Yeah, now that Alinda has experience with Mysaria on the streets of King's Landing, talking with the small folk, organizing shit down on the ground floor.
Yes. And there was a really good shot of Mysaria chatting with Alinda on Dragonstone last season before Rhaenyra came in.
Yeah.
So they have established that Mysaria and Alinda are close. So my question is, like, who is Alinda more loyal to, Rhaenyra or Mysaria?
So Rhaenyra, her period shows up. Oopsie daisy. And she says, fuck. And, like, it's a big problem. And I really love the way that Emma Darcy says fuck and, like, has these groans. It's completely evocative of that birth scene that we first saw Alinda Massey in season 1, episode 6, where she says fuck, she makes those groaning noises. And it's about her body getting in the way of her politics, just as it's about to do again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun that Alinda is
the
there
show
both times.
Keeps cashing in on season 1. It's great.
Yeah. Like, this continues House of the Dragons tradition of, like, just showing us real, everyday stuff that a lot of fantasy doesn't show and that Westeros hasn't shown before up till now. And, of course, this is going to be a real hassle for Rhaenyra on the big day of sitting the throne in front of the people.
Yeah, it's not just slice of life, oh, this is what it's like to be the real Rhaenyra Targaryen. It's, like, it tells us a lot. It's still about the themes of the show.
What's the acronym for "Get Ready with Me" videos on the internet?
I actually don't know.
I feel so male right now, but that's like a genre of social media.
Yeah, sorry,
videos.
I just watched time lapses
me.
of Jeeps being cleaned.
In that scene, there's a moment, I think when Rhaenyra says, "I should wear the sword," and Linda says, "No," you can hear a little bit of squeaking. And you don't see a rat in that scene, but you hear a rat in that scene, which is neat.
Right, but the question of the sword is like, how masculine am I going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you can define it as masculine, but you can also just view it as it's a weapon for killing.
Yeah.
And it's a question of like, it's a symbol of aggression.
Rhaenyra specifically has equated that sword with her own masculinity. Part of Rhaenyra's new job as being queen of the Seven Kingdoms is that she has to listen to some random people talk to her sometimes.
Yeah,
so
apparently,
that's what happens.
like when you're the government, you have to govern.
Sounds like bullshit, but let's hear them out.
So this is a wonderful contrast to the scene where Aegon faces petitioners. Like Aegon, like Rhaenyra, wanted to help. And he came up with ideas as best he could. Aegon's ideas were stupid. Like, the petitioners said, like, our sheep were taken for taxes. And Aegon's like,
take them back. You can have your sheep.
We'll give back all the taxes. And then Otto's like, we actually can't give back all the taxes because then we can't pay for things.
Your Grace, money can be exchanged for goods
and services. Whereas someone says, we haven't got enough wool. And Rhaenyra's like, why don't we shear the sheep before we feed them to the dragons? And it's like, that's kind of smart.
We'll also save money on toothbrushes for the dragons.
And then,
because they won't have giant pieces of wool stuck in their teeth.
It's got to taste better. And like the butcher is like, we haven't got enough animals to hunt. And Rhaenyra's like, well, what if you hunt in the Kingswood?
You can't have the deer, those are mine, but you can have the rabbits. I don't give a shit about the rabbits.
Because the Kingswood is traditionally reserved for only royalty are allowed to hunt in particular woods.
I do like that Corlys is like, that would offend your royal forebears. Like, this is not normal. You like sort of can't do that. But Rhaenyra can do it, of course. She's the fucking queen. So it causes like a bit of a hubbub, and she's willing to change tradition for the circumstances around her.
But I also like bringing up the Kingswood because we've been in the Kingswood.
Yeah, that's Rhaenyra saw that white stag in the Kingswood, which is like what emboldened her to believe that she should one day be queen.
Well, Rhaenyra says you can't hunt stags and boar. She names the two animals that we saw her encounter in the Kingswood. So it's just a nice piece of continuity. It makes the world feel real when they name places where we've been.
And then Sylvie petitions the queen.
I've also been shouting to see Sylvie for some time now.
What a delight it is to see Sylvie talking to Rhaenyra. She invokes that she worked with Mysaria.
Sylvie says that she wants justice because the rich people, during all of the food shortages in King's Landing, the rich people bought up lots of food and stockpiled it and hoarded it while the poor people couldn't get any. And it was harder for the poor people to get food because the rich were stockpiling.
They were panic buying.
I think it's cool that they're addressing class and wealth inequality in a really direct way.
To remain in power, you have to keep the powerful happy.
Yeah.
But to do good, you sort of have to make the powerful unhappy.
Yeah.
So that's like the core tension at the heart of being a good ruler.
Yeah, and this is something that George grapples with a lot. Rhaenyra's stunt with the rich people and serving them rats and taking their food from their homes, it's probably a stupid thing to do, right?
Oh, yeah,
because
definitely.
like right at the beginning of her reign, she has directly like threatened and disgusted and alienated the most powerful or some of the most powerful people in the city. Like that's probably a terrible idea to do right away. I think that the way that it might have worked is if Cyrax was in the room. You know what I mean? Because like King Aegon V, he said that if only he had dragons, he would have been able to keep the lords in line. And this is what Daemon says this episode. We have dragons so we can do what we want. Like the difference between Aegon the Conqueror and Cersei Lannister is 3 lizards. You know what I mean? Like if Rhaenyra leans more into I'm a dragon lord,
fuck you,
obey or burn, then she might be able to institute more social reform. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like imagine, so Rhaenyra says, okay, hunt the rabbits in the Kingswood. And Corlys is like, I don't know about that, dude. Like, Viserys would be upset. Jaehaerys the First would be upset. And she's like, fuck you. I'm a drag. Like, what are you? Who are you to say that to me? Sylvie interrupts Rhaenyra in their conversation, which I like. For as good a person as Sylvie seems to be, that is audacious.
The High Septon waggles his finger in Rhaenyra's face like a naughty schoolgirl.
Let aside being a man, if Rhaenyra was willing to say, my lizard will eat you if you do that, then that wouldn't happen.
That's what Jaehaerys did. When King Jaehaerys was young, the way that he cowed his rebel lords was by saying, hey, see that giant dragon? Yeah, it'll eat you if you fuck with me. Like the whole previous 130 years of Targaryen history has been using the dragons to get their way. And Rhaenyra is a miracle because she's a ruler who actually wants to help the people and actually wants to protect people and actually wants peace. So if she was willing to use her dragons, not like sparingly, like don't actually burn and kill thousands, but if she was willing to intimidate people with her dragons, I think she could get better results. Like Rhaenyra's trying to be, I'll try and be like nice queen who gives people food. I think if she leaned a bit more into,
I'm going to be a tyrant for the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think she might be more successful if she was a little bit more tyrannical or dragony. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's the Daenerys direction, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that is what Daenerys is trying to be. Daenerys is trying to feed the people by threat of dragon.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that works out. Someone should write a book about that.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So Daemon and Mysaria argue about the feeding the people thing, and we see how it's very much Mysaria. Well, Mysaria is part of what's driving Rhaenyra to try and protect the people, or at least she's advocating for it, whereas Daemon is like, fuck the common people, we're the strong and the rich, screw everyone else. Yeah, I really like the line where Mysaria says, the common people look to us for order and security. They look to us for meat and fuel. And Daemon says, who is us in your telling?
Yeah, right. Mysaria isn't the one with the fuel and the security and the order. In fact, Daemon thinks of himself as the person who gave that to Mysaria decades ago.
Yeah. Daemon was Mysaria's protector and also exploiter. And Daemon still sees Mysaria as lesser and common and woman and weak. And here's Mysaria saying, we are the royals, we are the realm, we are the crown, we must protect. And Daemon's saying, no. You're not part of this.
That's me.
You're not one of us.
You can't sneak yourself onto the team. Little bro thinks he's part of the team. No.
Yeah,
Daemon is Luigi. You're number 2.
Daemon is saying you like Rhaenyra may have given you a seat here, but you're not really one of us. And Mysaria is saying, well, I'm better than one of you because I'm not born to it.
Yeah.
I'm not born to nobility. I worked for this place. And so we're really like getting some like fucking class clash.
I fucking love.
Here.
So they're bickering about class and what they should do and the food and the lords and all that, but they're also just bickering about each other and they're bickering about each other's closeness to Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Like all of this plot, theme, world work is character work as well.
Yeah, it's relationship work and it's character work and it's identity work. You know, like these people are telling us who they think they are, and Daemon thinks he's superior to everyone else, no matter what. Yeah. And for Mysaria, it's interesting because Mysaria is trying to like code switch. She's trying to like become one of the royals. She's trying to be seen as one of the government.
That's how she can enact power. That's how she has to do it.
And that's what Mysaria has always done. She's a chameleon. Like she used to be a sex worker, then she was a spy master, and she ran a brothel, and then she was a fugitive escaping, and then she was a confidant to Rhaenyra. Like, yeah, she has an incredible
Can you explain the 8-year gap in your resume between episodes 7 and 8?
Yeah, it's really interesting, these like identity and politics issues that they're grappling with. And Corlys is not interested in any of this. Corlys is like, fuck all this. Because I think all that Corlys is thinking about right now is Rhaenyra better legitimize my sons. Yes. I need to secure my legacy. I could die at any moment.
Yeah.
We have never seen Corlys like express much interest in governing the realm. He's the Hand of the Queen. He should be the guy. He should be the Otto Hightower.
Yeah, I was thinking in that petition scene, Corlys looked like he had no idea what the fuck he was doing there. And compare that to Otto in the scene where Aegon takes petitions, where he's like on top of everything.
Yeah. I think Corlys has been a bad hand of the Queen so far.
Oh, definitely. He didn't do shit.
He's been very not involved. It's frustrating and underwhelming. And part of it is that there are things that Corlys does in the books that they gave to Rhaenyra instead last season. And so partly they're sort of futzing the material around to give Rhaenyra more to do, and it's at the cost of Corlys and Jace and others.
Really important detail in this scene. You can see the council balls on the table there, but no one's actually, like, got them in front of them.
Yeah, true.
They haven't punched in. This is an informal... This is off the books.
Well, Rhaenyra says this episode that she doesn't have a small council.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a Mister of Whisperers. She has a Hand of the Queen. She has a Daemon.
Everyone needs a Daemon.
But she doesn't have a Master of Laws or a Master of Coin
ships.
or a Grand Maester because she's rejected Gerardus and Orwyle.
Has she rejected Orwyle?
Well, he's not at the table. The small council is small indeed.
I also love that Rhaenyra is not paying attention at all to Daemon and Myzaria's bickering, even though they are, like, at the end of the day, bickering about her and for her. Wait, so they sent Baelor out to scout for Vhagar.
Yeah.
And
she went to Rook's Rest?
And Daemon says, yeah, she saw Sunfire.
Yeah.
They know that Aemond went to Harrenhal.
Yeah.
What is Baelor doing in Rook's Rest?
If Baelor's looking for Vhagar, it's odd that she saw Sunfire at Rook's Rest.
How long has she been gone?
Yeah.
Alinda brings Rhaenyra something for the cramps, and she just, like, looks. It's a tea. She looks at it and just, like, puts it back down. And I like. Does she lack the physical wherewithal to drink it, or is she looking at that, like, does it remind her of the moon tea? I don't know, because that also is a reproductive linked tea. Yeah.
I would also like to argue that Rhaenyra doesn't want to think about the tea because it's going to remind her that her gender is getting in the way of her politics, and she doesn't want to think about that. She doesn't want to confront that reality. So that's cool. Also, we're in our pajamas.
She's just really not feeling up to anything right now. That's what I think.
Yeah, fair enough. She needs to be in her pajamas.
Yeah.
Give it
like
a go,
us.
Rhaenyra. Yeah. Everyone, put on your pajamas now.
I love how Rhaenyra, in her frustration with Corlys, she pushes the little ball donut across the room. She grabs the Taurus and she pushes the Taurus across.
Yeah.
It's such a funny little gesture.
It reminds me of, like, Aegon juggling the ball in season 2 and Jaehaerys playing with Tyland's bowl in season 2.
I love a bit of object work. There was none of that in Game of Thrones season 8 and 7.
No, people just stood around, really. Then Mysaria says, what would Viserys do? So all through season 2, it was, what would you have me do? And in season 3, episode 2, Daemon says, what would you do? And the answer is, I'll conquer King's Landing. And then Mysaria is asking, what would Viserys do? Because everyone remembers Viserys' reign as a good time.
Oh, yeah, he never did anything wrong.
Nah.
And Rhaenyra hilariously says, well, I think the Viserys would
throw a party!
do a banquet.
Throw a big party!
Oh, Targaryen, Your Grace.
Oh, absolutely not.
So then Rhaenyra has Daemon knight Ulf and Hugh and Adam. She promised to make them knights, which is an increase in social status and power and respect, in recognition and celebration of them being her dragon riders.
Woohoo, what a celebratory scene. What a fun scene for everyone.
Yeah, it could be a great, fun, exciting party, but everyone is kind of awkward and discontent.
Yeah, it's very tense.
Because Hugh's just worried about, like, his wife and where he lives and, like, can he look after his family, and Ulf wants more than to be a knight. He wants a castle.
He's sitting there wondering if Daemon's joke about making him Lord of Old Town was a joke or not.
So yeah, there's like tension there. And Adam wants to be a Velaryon because Corlys just asked Rhaenyra to legitimize Adam and make him a Velaryon, a nobleman, part of one of the most powerful houses in the realm. And like the one thing that Adam wants is more social status and power and wealth. He said as much in season 2.
Yeah, he wanted Alan to leverage his position with Corlys to get them closer to him.
Yeah, so like, I mean, Adam doesn't express his discontent much this episode, but I suppose we can see it on his face.
Well, yeah, he doesn't seem very happy about it, but he does still swear ultimate loyalty to Rhaenyra. So Daemon knights them and he says, you know, the first 3 of the 7 knightly vows, I don't know if we'll ever hear all of them. But more to the point, He knights them with Dark Sister, which is awesome for them. His knighting of Ulf is a lot closer to an execution than it is of the others.
Yeah.
Right? When he knights Hugh and Adam, it's quite normal, but when he's playing, he's fucking with Ulf so much.
Yeah. Ulf's treatment of Jace was kind of like a light bullying. And I think Daemon has identified that Ulf is like potentially a little bit of a bully, and Daemon has just tried to bully him harder before he bullies him. You know, like it's just all like power games that are being played.
Yeah. Must be said, Ulf is hilarious in this scene.
He is
that
hilarious.
it? He says he wants to style himself as a Targaryen, and Rhaenyra's response is also hilarious. Absolutely not.
Well, Daemon's response.
Their look to each other is fucking priceless.
Like Daemon is like this is the idea that Ulf thinks he can be a Targaryen is so stupid that Daemon can't even react to it. Like it's so thick that Daemon can't even think of how to respond. He can't compute. I think that really they could make Ulf and Hugh and Adam a lot happier if they just said, hey, like you guys, like you're not going to be legitimized and you're not going to be lords, but we will give you like awesome like mansions.
Yeah, that's the thing is like knights in service to the royal house in the real world and in Ice and Fire also get apartments in either the keep or like houses in the city. Like they are taken care of.
Yeah, I think Ulf in particular would be really just like a lot more satisfied.
Oh, I get a
if
manor
they
house.
said,
I get a manor house like outside the city or in the city on Visenya's Hill. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that is
Cool.
what they
That's
should
what I
do.
wanted.
Like they should say, hey Ulf, here's an awesome house with servants and as much food as you could want and some wine.
Here's a voucher for free drinks at your favorite pub. It will last until you die.
Yeah, that is what they should do. That would make Ulf happy. And with Hugh, if they said, yep, we've sent a message to Kat, we are escorting Kat to a nice house in King's Landing, that would make Hugh happy. Adam's a little more...
Yeah, that one's a bit dicier.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Rhaenyra's dealing with so much bullshit. There's so much going on, and she's so unprepared, and there's so little help for her that she just, like, that's too far down the list to tell Ulf that he'll get a house.
Yeah, these are solvable problems, but there's just too many of them on the docket right now.
Yeah, the bandwidth is just not there for it.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting that the knighting of Ulf, Hugh, and Adam, it happens in like the internal courtyard with random banners and green stuff strewn about. And it seems a bit sort of ad hoc, rushed little private thing. There's no like pomp or ceremony.
Yeah, you would expect that sort of thing to happen in like the throne room.
Yeah, Rhaenyra could have made a big ceremony of this. She could have had lots of witnesses and observers. And
These are the 3 new dragon riders. Like, it's a big deal.
These are 3 of the most powerful people in the world. These are 3 of Rhaenyra's most important allies. She really could be like presenting them, celebrating them, affirming them publicly. Because, like, what do the people know about these dragon riders?
Yeah, 3 random strangers now own giant lizards.
Yeah, and the people are probably confused. Like, the people will be saying, oh, I thought only Targaryens could ride dragons. Why are these random people from the pub riding dragons? And, like, that's something that Rhaenyra needs to address politically.
Or maybe she's trying to hide it. And Hugh even comes up to Rhaenyra to ask about the house that she will give him, but, like, we'll deal with it in a few weeks, I guess. Like, and that's not good enough. Like, we the systems of government aren't keeping up with the requirements of government, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's like day 2, but yeah.
But it's really important to Hugh, because of course it is.
Yeah. Well, I love Rhaenyra's line, I am awash in dilemmas and deficiencies. I want that on like a coffee mug. But she's
current
being...
mood, awash in deficiencies.
but like she's being honest to Hugh, which is cool. And like I hope that Hugh kind of understands a bit. But it's tough because Hugh is one of Rhaenyra's most important allies, and she just clearly is not thinking about his needs, and that's an L. That's a problem.
Yeah, cue the rat to indicate that that's a problem. God, Rhaenyra just like tries to take a fucking moment for herself and knock, the Queen Dowager.
Yeah. The most like emotionally challenging visitor she could have.
Oh, you wanted to take a moment to breathe and think, have a glass of water. Anyway, here's your best friend, enemy, love interest.
So Rhaenyra talks to Alicent, and Alicent says she has a small request. She requests for the remains of her father Otto to be sent to Old Town to be interred there. And this is, it's almost like a classic psychological technique, which is if you want to build a relationship with someone, you ask them for a small favor. Or like in a negotiation, if you want to ask for something big, ask for something small first, because if you give people something that they can easily say yes to, they generally want to say yes to it, and
that's a basis for a future relationship.
Yeah. I wonder if Alicent is almost kind of working her way up to a bigger ask.
Yeah, she's read some self-help books. She's read some business management books, and she's ready to try and climb this corporate ladder.
Hell yeah.
I also love how, we've talked about it earlier, how impersonal Rhaenyra's language is here. Alicent says she has a request, and Rhaenyra says, we'll hear it. They're the only people in the room. Rhaenyra's referring to herself as we. And then when she accepts, she says, as you say, like, you are doing this, not me.
Yeah,
she's
you're
distancing
so right.
herself from the actions, which you sort of have to do as a ruler, no?
Yeah. Alicent smiles at Rhaenyra, and all of my neurons activated. Like, I just instantly saw like a TikTok edit in my head of all the times Alicent and Rhaenyra were friends and hanging out in the Godswood and braiding each other's hair. And like the moment Alicent smiled, it's like, when was the last time Alicent smiled at Rhaenyra? Like, it literally was like 15 years ago.
Season 1, episode 8, though, they smiled at each other.
There you go.
Because Alicent said, you'll make a fine queen. Rhaenyra says, I'll come back on Dragonback. And I forgot to mention that in season 3, episode 2. Rhaenyra did come back on Dragonback.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
I've been thinking about that setup for 4 years.
Yeah, it went full circle.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
They put that line there for that reason.
Rhaenyra says, "Hey, Alicent, you ruled here for years in season 1. Please, like, tell me how you feel about that. I love the continuity in this show."
Hey, Alicent, now that I'm the queen, I've realized that I don't know how to be the queen. You were the queen. Can you tell me how to be the queen?
There is some outrageously good writing happening in this episode.
I fucking love Alicent in that scene.
Alicent says, like, Viserys says, well, Viserys was a good ruler and it didn't destroy him, which, like, she knows is nonsense. But Alicent says, your father lived in a world of his own construction. You and I have never set foot there. Like, she's saying Viserys is delusional. He never faced the harsh realities of the situation. And she's so right in so many ways.
At the start of this conversation, Alicent says the theme of the show, which is you may not rule and remain yourself. You cannot be the political and the person. Like, they will tug at each other. They will tear you apart.
That's Daenerys. That's Tyrion.
It's Rhaenyra.
Yep.
And Rhaenyra's like, but what if I'm, like, really good? What if I'm, like, better than that? I can rise above human nature. It's fine. And my dad was really cool. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? The reason Viserys was able to remain himself is that he didn't rule.
And this, like, is an interesting counterpoint to Daemon's line about Viserys denouncing his dragon. Like, I wonder if that was also, in some sense, Daemon rejecting a reality. But yeah, Viserys also rejected reality in the sense that he was motivated by his dreams. Like in season 1, he was like, I will have a son. My son will be king. And then that leads to him cutting his wife open. And like, I wonder if that almost like is where he went deeper into his world of delusion after killing Emma. Because how could anyone handle that?
Well, yeah, he died that day.
Yeah. How can anyone's sanity survive being responsible for cutting your wife open? It's not... That's can't be intact.
Man. It's not good.
No more than Azor Ahai could when he killed Nissa, right? So yeah, like I love how real Alicent is being, and I think the way that she's saying it is so poetic.
Within you is a door that must be shut.
Yeah.
Alicent as a sort of unwilling but also like cautious advisor to Rhaenyra is just great. I love it.
And there is Otto here in the room. Yes, like Alicent is being Otto.
They are just being their dads. That's what's happening here.
Yes.
They are acting as daddies.
Yes.
Which is why Luther Largent needs to come in and be his dad, Lionel Strong, the other hand of the king.
Yeah. This is how Otto treated Viserys, like trying to guide him towards sanity, try and bringing a little bit of light and wisdom into his eyes, but kind of knowing that he won't listen.
Yeah.
It's like the question
Time
is...
Time will tell.
Yes. So the question is like, can Rhaenyra be a better version of her father, and can Alicent be a better version of her father? That's what's happening here.
I believe the answer to both of those questions is maybe.
Yeah, well, there's this hilarious little shrug.
God, Olivia Cook is just the fucking best.
They have really decided to put Alison's collarbones on display here because there's a bunch of expressions that
How many
Olivia
times
has
have you
pulled.
brought up this particular body part of Olivia Cook?
Have I really?
Yeah, I think you have before.
I'm not even aware of
of
it, but like I have noticed like at least 3 times this season, Alison has like pulled an expression where her collarbones pop and like on her neck, like you can see like her musculature saying so much, and you can only see it because she's wearing a garment that shows her like collarbones in her chest. And it's such a good choice because Olivia is so expressive not only with her face but with her entire body, and it's fantastic.
Incredible.
But I love this little shrug because like there's a little bit of smugness to it. There's a little bit of irony. There's a little bit of satisfaction because at the end of the day, like Rhaenyra is the enemy and Alicent is the prisoner, but she can't help but feel a little bit of satisfaction at it's your problem now.
Yeah.
The throne is your problem now,
That bullshit
Rhaenyra.
I was dealing with thanklessly for 8 years.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah, I may be a prisoner, but at least I don't have to deal with all this shit. You are now a prisoner of the throne, and that is as bad as me being a prisoner of you.
It's dinner time.
Yum, yum. What's for dinner?
Rats and like some weird noodles.
Rodents and gruel. Yeah, Rhaenyra hosts a bunch of rich merchants and minor nobles, and she feeds them rats, and she says, you were wrong to hoard food and to stockpile food while the city was starving.
Anyway, my cops are raiding your houses now to take food from you so that I may give it to the poor of the city.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Tut, tut, tut. And then they all go home. They've all come to the Red Keep expecting dinner, and now they have to walk home or whatever, so they're all fucking starving, surely.
I mean, this is a dumb idea, right? Like, this is not a good stunt.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It is fun. I mean, you can't not, like, fist pump a bit. Because,
Yeah.
like, of course, like, you know, fuck the rich, feed the poor. Like, that's all that anyone fucking wants.
Dadoy.
But
yeah,
it's also...
Really stupid idea.
It's also like an any percent speed run of alienate the most important allies and, like, stakeholders who you really need on your side.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Rhaenyra that the institutions of the society she is governing have it such that those people hold a disproportionate amount of power, which is actually how they were able to hoard that food in the first place.
But, like, I think the question for me is, like, what lesson are the rich going to take from this? Because the lesson they're meant to take is let's not stockpile and be considerate of the poor and pay our taxes.
Let's treat the poor people as people, yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
but, like,
the actual lesson they're going to take is that evil queen fed me a rat! She took my food!
Yeah, like, I mean... they're going to feel that Rhaenyra robbed them, which she did.
She even says to someone, like, would you not have, like, been scrounging through the streets trying to eat every crumb you could, fighting for your life if you were in their position? And he has the audacity to say no. Like, what the fuck do you mean? That's just a failure to imagine yourself in someone else's shoes. Who would have thought that rich nobles would lack empathy? Rhaenyra also has a chat with Sir Torren Manderly, who, is a bit sly. He's like, oh no, go ahead, steal my food, but just remember that whose blockade made those poor people hungry in the first place, Rhaenyra?
Yeah, he establishes himself as smart and slimy and willing to challenge Rhaenyra and, you know, maybe someone who might be important. So the Manderleys are a house from the north.
In the books, Torren is the second son of Lord Manderly. So, you know, attribute all of your second son characteristics to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Put that group of things on him, and now you understand.
Yeah, good point. He's a Vaemond. He's a Daemon.
Yeah.
He's
an Otto.
He's someone who's got a grasp for his power and his prestige.
It's so annoying when Daemon is right.
Yeah.
Because he says that this gesture is going to help a few people for a little while, but will ultimately accomplish nothing other than pissing off the powerful people that you just pissed off. He says he finds it amusing, which, like, it's so funny having a dickhead like this as your primary advisor.
It's funny because I feel like for the first time ever, I'm like on Daemon's side in an episode. Like, I've never like sympathized with Daemon before, but like, I mean, sympathized, but like, I feel like he's kind of got a good point about politics in this episode.
The direction he's coming at it from is like abhorrent and evil, but the things he's saying are correct.
So Rhaenyra sends Daemon far away from King's Landing, which is like
Pretty
good
good
choice. Good idea. She sends him to the Vale, to Jane Arryn, to demand money. And
even though, as we've been saying, Daemon is actually like sort of a useful, like he's awful, but his voice is sometimes useful.
I think that using him to get money from lords is a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good use of
If
his
I was
talents.
Rhaenyra, I wouldn't just be saying Jane Arryn. I'd be saying like fly to all the richest lords in the
world.
Vale and also like the Westerlands. Like the come on, the Lannisters have money.
Also, it'd be like an easier way to get obeisance and tribute from like the Lords of the North. It's going to take ages for them to like come to King's Landing, right? Yeah, I don't know why Rhaenyra sends Daemon to like go bully Jane Arryn for me. I'm gonna ask Cregan Stark to come to Winterfell.
Yeah,
on
she
foot?
says.
Like, why?
She says the other great houses I will summon here. Like you have dragons. Why are we walking when we could be flying with dragons to get stuff
And
done?
even if you just sent Daemon to do a round trip of the Seven Kingdoms, not only would that like keep Daemon out of your hair
Yes.
for a while,
Yes.
it would do everything so much faster than having the baby Lord Tyrell carted to King's Landing.
I think Baylor might be a good
Yeah.
option as well.
I mean, she's busy lying about Sunfire.
So Daemon disapproves of Rhaenyra taking the nobles' food, and then Daemon says, "Hey, why are we?
What are we doing here?
Why are we arguing about onions and potatoes and coppers and silvers? We have 6 dragons. We can conquer the
Yeah.
world."
You've come so far, and yet you don't know who you are. Daemon's saying, we're dragon gods. What the fuck are we doing?
And I love, like, there's a real sense that, yeah, Daemon knows Rhaenyra. I mean, like, Daemon is maybe not very empathetic or insightful about what goes on in other people's heads, but he's known Rhaenyra for a long time, and he's like, hey, like, I can't believe that you're not embracing the dragon thing, because Rhaenyra did always want to fly off and see the world.
Yeah.
Since season 1, episode 1, was it? When she was saying, all I want to do is fly off and see the world and eat cake. And like Daemon's like, I know that's in you. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's see the world and take
So,
it for us.
Do you remember when Kristen asked Rhaenyra to run away with him, go see the world, be free, be safe, be away from it all? And she said, no, I have to be queen. Even though in season 1, episode 1, that's precisely what she said she wanted to Alicent. And then in season 2, episode 8, Alicent says, let's go, come with me, let's fuck off forever. And she says, no, I have to be queen. And now Daemon's saying it to her. Like, all of the people that she fucks/wants to fuck are asking her to run away to the edge of the world on a dragon, and she says, no, I have to count onions and potatoes.
Daemon says that Viserys renounced his dragon.
What a thing to say.
We could talk about that all day. I mean, like, as we said, this scene is such a cool parallel to the High Septon scene, where he's saying that dragons are a profane magic created in lust and desire and power and lust.
Dragons are gods. We are gods because we have dragons.
And Daemon says, like,
Viserys renounced God.
he renounced himself.
Yeah.
He renounced the god in himself.
He became weak because he chose to like say no to Balerion. If he'd said yes to Balerion, if you said yes to Syrax, if you let me say yes to Caraxes, we can be great. Daemon said to Viserys in season 1, episode 4, let me rule by Rhaenyra's side, and we will see House Targaryen rise to its greatest point ever. Like, we'll have the zenith of this Valyrian restoration.
Yeah.
We will conquer the world. That's what he's trying to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's finally happened. It's taken so many years, but Daemon's finally married Rhaenyra and put himself next to her on the throne. And this is him asking her, let me have my dream.
Yeah, Daemon's heart's desire is right in front of him, and Rhaenyra's saying, no, let's not.
No,
And
can
it's
you go to the
driving him
Vale and
crazy.
like get your stepson for me? Can you like bully Gerald Royce?
But it's so interesting because like they both believe in the prophecy. They both believe that they are destined to save Westeros by uniting it and ruling it. And their interpretations of that same prophecy are completely different. Rhaenyra's interpretation of the prophecy is, I must stay in King's Landing and feed the people and bring peace. And Daemon's interpretation of the prophecy is we must conquer the world
With
by
dragon
fire. And that is how we will unite and save the world. And that shows like exactly what prophecy is in this world.
Yes, it's
is
a
that
suggestion that lets you project your ego onto itself.
Yes, everyone projects their own desires and biases onto the notion of prophecy, and that's why prophecy is so dangerous and useless.
It
and
empowers the most egotistical, vainglorious dickheads, the most dick-brained dumbasses to like exert their power with full confidence on the world. Like, look what Daemon wants to do right now. That's precisely what's happening.
Yeah, which of course is how like real world religion can be misused.
Can I just say that a man in a wig speaking a made-up language saying the words as the prophecy requires is the most fantasy shit I've seen in decades.
And there are so many shows that fumble it. There are so many like fantasy shows and movies that do not succeed when they put on the wigs and they talk in the made-up language.
But this happened, and I was like, oh my god, Matt Smith, tell me more about what the prophecy requires. Like, I'm like, this is fully serious shit. I'm here for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't felt...
I feel as invested as I did in Lord of the Rings when they spoke made-up languages, when they were taking all of their insane, fantastical bullshit mega seriously.
I want,
Game
100%
of Thrones could
agree.
never. Daemon is inviting her to exact these actions, which would cause her to have immense, unimaginable, genuinely unforeseen levels of power. And she's saying, no, I have to feed the people.
Yeah.
The problem with House of the Dragon, though, is that we know that this isn't the climactic end of the series. We know that this is not what causes like the great imbalance in humanity's sin to be undone. We know that the story continues for another 170 years.
And that's why it's a tragedy. Like, if this wasn't a prequel, like, if this was the present, if this was as far forward as we've seen, then maybe we would think that, oh, maybe Rhaenyra will do the right thing and save us from the White Walkers. But since it's a prequel, we always know it's tragedy.
In High Valyrian, Daemon says Viserys was a good man. And then in the common tongue, he says, I've made my peace with him. He's shying away from the truth at the heart of it.
I think that's a good interpretation. I think another way to see it is that like the Valyrian is the language of prophecy and nonsense, whereas the English common tongue is the language of just simple human relationship honesty. I've made my peace with Viserys, and just when things are getting all dreamy and imaginative and fantastical, Daemon says, oh, you have to murder the child who's in our house.
Don't forget to kill your half brother.
and like Rhaenyra, to her credit, Rhaenyra could just say, you do it, Daemon, and he would have.
Oh, definitely.
But no, Rhaenyra is being queen, being responsible.
Daemon definitely would have done it, and he would not have gone to talk to Alicent first.
Yeah.
Which means he would have killed... Maybe that's what Ormond was expecting. Ormond was expecting Daemon to kill the fake Darren without, like, interrogating anything at all, because he's Daemon. So I think maybe it's not that outlandish for Ormond to expect that Daemon would just kill Darren immediately, and therefore the ruse would have gone off without a hitch.
So Rhaenyra creepily stands over the sleeping child Darren and notices that he's carving a bird. And I think a bird symbolizes being trapped in a cage and wanting freedom, which is also how Rhaenyra feels. They were just talking about winged men, and here Darren is carving a little winged bird.
She also might be thinking, if this was a real Targaryen, it would be a dragon.
Well, yeah, true.
You can see in the background of one of the shots that the fake Darren has actually been carving a lot of animals. There's an entire menagerie of wooden whittled animals behind him there. So it's really cute.
True.
It's the next day, and Rhaenyra still hasn't slept.
Yeah, she looks like crap. Yeah.
This scene takes place in the wheelhouse.
The same wheelhouse where we had all those arguments between Millie Alcock and Emily Carey back in the day.
It is sort of crazy that it's the same wheelhouse from 20 years ago.
But it's great because it's continuity. Like, yeah, maybe it's not realistic.
And now Myzaria's there.
Yeah.
Myzaria has made it into the Targaryen wheelhouse.
What a step up for Myzaria.
This is where Alicent and Helena hid while they were being attacked by those random small folk.
In the books, Myzaria is described as pale as milk, wearing silk robes of blood crimson and black. She's like cartoonishly sinister. The White Worm, Lady Misery. She's feared and sinister. Whereas here she's just like, yeah, no, I just think we should tax the rich.
Oh, maybe you should get a new mattress. We should tax the rich, feed the poor, get a new mattress for the queen. Just simple, normal stuff.
In that order. So Mazzaria says that Rhaenyra buried her grief for Jace, for Luke, for everything. And Rhaenyra says, well, no, I do feel rage. Yes, no, I do feel rage.
Not grief, but rage.
A rage that billows beyond my grasp.
It's out of her control.
I mean, that makes me think of those odd shots of the curtains billowing.
Ah, yeah.
Like, that's a symbol of her rage that's billowing beyond her grasp.
Okay, that's a more peaceable metaphor for rage than I would have envisioned.
Well, it's
It is still beyond her control.
idiosyncratic. It's odd. It's an odd thing. But grasp makes me think of her sword that she is not wearing, and it makes me think of Daemon. Remember when Daemon found out that Viserys died, and the first thing he did was grab his sword.
Yeah, and started levying accusations.
Daemon finds it very easy to grasp his rage.
Yes.
Daemon grasps his rage. It is his sword.
And he
It
wields
has a
it.
name. It's Dark Sister. Aemon
awesome.
grasps his rage, and it's his sword, Blackfire. All the men, they know exactly how to grasp their rage. It's right down near their penis. It's the hilt of their sword.
Yeah.
Whereas Rhaenyra does not have a sword to grasp. She's not one that she's comfortable with. Not
Or a
one that she
penis.
knows how to wield.
Yeah.
Neither a penis nor a sword, which is the entire problem of this show. So Rhaenyra is I want to grab a hilt and do something, but
All I can do is feed rats to rich bastards.
it billows beyond her grasp.
She has no outlet. She can't just kill Simon Strong for no reason.
Rhaenyra says, I will look upon the faces of those who killed my sons. And it is one of the most chilling moments. There have been several moments that have zoomed in on Rhaenyra looking all angry and fiery, but somehow it's more powerful, this one, where she's just in the wheelhouse and she very flatly and unemotionally is saying, I will look upon the faces of those who killed my sons.
Yeah, someone lashing out in violent emotion, it can very quickly become pathetic, like Daemon often does, like Aemon did last episode.
Like
but
Aegon has constantly.
Yeah, Aegon all the time. But Rhaenyra, that reserved, calculated, emotionless.
She has demonstrated a capacity for self-control and restraint, and that makes it way scarier when she makes a threat.
Yeah, and we have learned last episode that she can and will kill people. She even says the word judiciously the same way Viserys does.
Yeah.
That is the most judicious proposition.
Well, in the same way that doesn't Otto in season 2, episode 2 say that Viserys's judiciousness,
his dignity. Fuck, I'm gonna miss Rhysifan so much. I so hope that he ghosts around at some point.
But the great irony that both Rhaenyra and Otto admired Viserys and his judiciousness so much, but Rhaenyra had to kill Otto last episode.
Yeah, because ultimately of Viserys' failures.
A most judicious proposition. Judiciousness.
Judiciously.
Yes, imagine if Rhaenyra and Otto got to sit down and have a good conversation about Viserys. That could have done so much good. Too late, of course, but it could have done so much good.
Otto did have to die, ultimately.
They definitely should have fucking interrogated him a lot more before they killed him.
Oh, totally. But, emotions were high. Look at the size of Rhaenyra's nostrils here. Not only is she taking on the character of Viserys' perceived rule, judiciousness, but also his momentous nostrils.
He's gargantuan sniffer.
I mean, they're not quite as large as Paddy Considine's. I mean, whose nostrils are, but I mean, it's a good start.
Welcome to the Emma Darcy's Nose podcast.
Oh, who would have thought?
So Rhaenyra hands out food to the people, and this is like I think in George Martin's eyes, this is rule one. The basic criterion of being a ruler is that you have to feed the people. So that's what Rhaenyra does here. That's what Jon does. That's what Dany does.
Yeah, it's like having a character love an animal. It's just how you show us that that's a good person.
Yeah. And I love how Rhaenyra is genuinely having a lot of fun doing this, and so is Mazzaria.
Oh, Mazzaria is we've never seen her so happy.
Yeah, that's true. Mazzaria is lighting up.
Yeah. And it's a joy to see. And I really do love how Rhaenyra is personally handing food to people. Usually even the good queen has people do that for her. But no, she's doing it by her own hand.
Which, of course, is political performance. It is a calculated
Of course. She's kissing
political
babies and
performance.
shaking hands. She's shaking babies and kissing hands.
But she is stoked to be doing it.
Yeah, and she is putting herself in a non-zero amount of danger just by going out in public at all.
So we've talked about this a little already, but Corlys demands that Rhaenyra legitimize his sons Adam and Alan so that they can inherit the Velaryon family name. And Rhaenyra says no because her sons Joffrey and Luke and Jace were bastards and are rumored to be bastards. And if she goes around legitimizing bastards, it feeds the idea, the truth, that her heir to the throne, Joffrey, is also a bastard.
She says she has Joffrey to think of.
She's also raised up Ulf and Hugh, which are bastards. So if she becomes team bastard of the Bastard Club, bastard, it puts a lot of scrutiny and weight and potential issues of legitimacy onto Joffrey. And that's something that haunted Jace and worried Jace a lot. And she doesn't want Joffrey to have to deal with the same thing.
So at the start of this scene, Corlys says, "It seems that you styled Adam of Hull instead of as a Velaryon. It seems that you did that. I thought we agreed," when like there was no agreement. Like he just said something and assumed she would do it.
Yeah, well, Corlys is one of the richest, most powerful men in the world. He's the kind of guy who, when he makes a suggestion,
it becomes real.
That is meant to be interpreted as a command.
This is a guy who was married to Princess Rhaenys, Ryder of Melis, and he commanded her around. Like he sometimes listened to her, but like never heeded her advice and just did whatever the fuck he wanted. Like this guy doesn't know how to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
The only person he's ever taken no as an answer from is Baela when she said, "No, I can't be your heir."
And also from Rhaenys sometimes in bed. I love it because Rhaenyra's concern makes so much sense, but Corlys's fury makes so much sense as well, because what he's asking from Corlys's perspective is a pretty small ask, and it costs Rhaenyra nothing.
Yes.
And after Corlys has really, truly lost everything in terms of his castle, his wealth, most of his navy,
most of his family,
his son, his daughter, his wife. Like it's like he truly has lost everything for Rhaenyra.
His brother.
So the idea, his brother. So the idea that Rhaenyra says no, like that would be so infuriatingly, infuriating.
So this is great.
Yeah.
This is just fantastic.
It's
like seeing Steve Toussaint able to yell at someone again is just cathartic.
Yeah.
But also, it feels so terrible because we've been following Rhaenyra around for the past 3 days, and we know what she's going through, and we completely understand her perspective as well.
Yeah,
and it's just so cool that she's alienating her hand, who has been useless to her so far, by doing something that makes complete sense to her and is like an awful decision, but she has to do it.
Yeah. I love when Corlys says, "You are ashamed."
Yes.
Because again,
recognizes the personal tension there.
That brings up all the circumstances of season 1 when Rhaenyra was married to Laenor and having sex with Harwin, and like we saw that shame in the conversation with Rhaenyra and Laenor. And Rhaenyra must be ashamed of the pain that she's causing her children. Yeah. You know?
And then there's also that scene between Harwin and his dad, Lionel, where Lionel shouts, "It's our shame, Harwin."
Yeah.
It's created so much shame for so many people. And Rhaenyra's sexual liberty was illustrated to her by Daemon in season 1, episode 4, when he took her to that sex cauldron. I thought they closed that place down. It's just so fun, like reaping the rewards of all of that backstory, which isn't even backstory. It was in the story. It's just story.
God, it would be a wonder if Rhaenyra wasn't overwhelmed with a lot of complicated negative feelings.
Of course she wants to make out with Mysaria.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
And I just love Corlys yelling bastard like Vaemond did, because like
he wasn't even there for that.
Because Corlys was always remarkably chill about his brother Vaemond being killed by Daemon in public with no due process. Like the Corlys has to have had feelings about that, but like when he learns of it on screen, he just kind of shrugs.
He's like,
it's
oh,
no
well,
big deal.
yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
But now that he yells, it's like, no, Corlys is furious about Vaemond still. He never got justice for his brother. Of course he's furious.
Well, he's just now decided that his family is the only thing that matters.
It's like a full circle moment, you know? He's becoming proud and angry and demanding again. And it is so much more earned than it was at the very beginning, you know?
Say aloud to me the reason that your sons get what mine are denied.
Damn.
Oh, let Sarah Hess write everything.
Yeah, no, this is a banger episode. Fucking hell.
Oh, this next scene between Rhaenyra and Alicent begins with the exact same words. Alicent says Helena has gone to the God's Wood with thanks. It's just like there's a formality to their interactions now.
Well, it's sort of like that. There is so much complicated history between Rhaenyra and Alicent that neither of them can really face it or address it right now. They just have to sort of be formal.
They just have to say what's in front of them, really.
It feels a bit inadequate. Like, I think the level of insanity that's happened between them, the way that they're reacting between each other feels inadequate. And I guess, like, you can interpret that as a failing of the episode, or you can interpret that as it's just the realism of two people who are unable to grasp at all of the complex emotions that they feel for each other right now, you know, which is also a thing that can happen.
I don't think that every interaction between two people with a shitload of history has to be eruptive.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I'm going to assume that this is building to something.
Yeah.
Because it's House of the Dragon and everything is building to something between Rhaenyra and Alicent. It's the whole show.
Well, that is like the biggest question mark in this show for me is like, because the biggest divergence, the central biggest divergence from the books is Rhaenyra and Alicent's relationship, and how can they resolve it in a way that feels satisfying? I do not know. Let us discover it forever. So Rhaenyra tells Alicent that she has Daeron, and then Alicent says, "That's not Daeron."
No, you don't.
And there are some wonderful, hilarious performances by Emma and Olivia.
I would also like to point out all the Dutch angles in that scene when Rhaenyra is talking to the fake Daeron and like the camera's swirling around her, like showing us how disoriented everything is.
And the stings of music.
Yeah,
Olivia,
it's just great.
Alicent has a very particular face that she often pulls. It's a sort of this sort of lip curled look of this sort of look of like, what am I looking at? Like, what fresh hell have I walked in on this time?
What the fuck is this?
You know when she walked in and she saw her son Aegon masturbating out the window, and it's just like
why is my life like this sort of look?
So Rhaenyra says to the fake Daeron that your mother is here. And Daeron slowly, the boy slowly turns around. And I feel like you can see in his eyes a hope that
it's actually
my
his
mother is here.
Yeah,
like there's some desperate hope that maybe he's going to be okay. Because like this poor kid must have been terrified the entire time that he's here.
He thinks that Rhaenyra is going to kill him with dragons.
What an asshole Ormond is.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rhaenyra learns that there's a dragon keeper at the gate, which might be one of the most confusing messages to hear ever.
Yeah, it's true. You mean the cult of weirdos who just stay in the caves with the dragons all of the time and don't even speak English?
And told me to fuck off last year.
So a dragon keeper comes and says that Ormond has taken Tumbleton and is holding the people of Tumbleton hostage.
Oh my god. Oh no, he's the only dragon keeper that made it out. They took Targaryen inside the city. Targaryen, Daeron's dragon. They've still got the dragon. Why didn't Daemon make sure they didn't have the dragon? I also feel like it's quite like heavy-handed to have this guy show up and speak the made-up language to tell Rhaenyra the themes of the episode, like that have been already like really well communicated. Like he says in plain High Valyrian, "Are you going to burn those mothers and their children who look to you for peace?" Like, I don't know, man. I felt like that was a bit much.
I don't expect a member of a dragon cult to be like, "We must protect mothers and children.
We must protect the common people of Tumbleton." Like, these are guys who value the, like, High Valyria. They were annoyed at Rhaenyra for inviting common people to ride dragons.
Yes, exactly. What a contradiction. These guys don't like common people. I mean, they worship fire gods.
Like, I get that, like, if you're a human, you have the capacity to care for other humans. I understand that. And this guy is a guy. The cult is a cult, sure, but this guy is a guy, and guys are capable of having opinions.
And maybe that's why it's just this one guy. Like, maybe this guy is the one dragon keeper who was like, actually, I don't think we should hold Tumbleton hostage. So maybe that's what's going on here.
Anyway, Rhaenyra says, "I'm going to have to deal with this. What the fuck is Ormond getting at?" And she says, "My arm is long" in High Valyrian, which does sound like, you put something through Google Translate and put it back. But I think like this relates to her saying that her rage is beyond her grasp. Like, no, my arm is long. I can get my rage. I can use it.
Oh yeah, she can grasp it.
Yeah.
At last. It no longer billows beyond her grasp. She can grasp it.
Because her arm is so long.
I am a little wary of the whole using a city as a hostage against dragons thing. It's giving me season 8 vibes. Because
that is exactly what Cersei does.
Because I'm not convinced that this is a problem for Rhaenyra. Like, I feel like if your enemy is holding a city, you put the city under siege. You park a couple of dragons outside in case Tessarion comes out.
Rhaenyra is currently being berated by the people of King's Landing for putting a blockade on King's Landing. Is besieging Tumbleton gonna look good?
It's pretty easy to blame the High Towers for what the High Towers are doing. And also, you don't need to like allow news to spread too much necessarily. I don't know. This is pretty obviously Ormond's fault. And Ormond has to give up pretty quickly because he can't feed his army on Tumbleton stores forever.
Here's the thing. Rhaenyra says, what does Ormond hope to accomplish? And I believe we're supposed to be wondering that too. Ormond clearly has some play. He has some ridiculous idea that's going to extend his campaign.
Yeah, so you're right.
We're going to find out next episode, I hope.
There's probably more to it. And I think, the most obvious thing is that Hugh is going to say, my wife Kat is in there. We have to act. And
True.
Hopefully that will be one of the driving issues. And then we get a close-up of Rhaenyra looking fiery. They've done a lot of shots like this.
Yes.
They've done a lot of shots of Rhaenyra's looking fiery. She's going to do something.
Okay, but this one is at the end of the episode where we've been in her head the entire time and we've seen like all the bullshit she's had to deal with. We've seen her go a little bit loopy. We've seen her start making less cautious decisions. This is the trailer shot. Like this could actually be something.
Well, we've also seen her take the throne. Like, we have seen her do the thing. She's taken the throne. She's done the thing. Yeah. So, like, it has paid off at least once. Glidus, what did you think of Season 3, Episode 3?
I fucking love this episode, man. Like, there's so much, like, I think the Hightower Army fake Darren Tumbleton stuff is flimsy at best, bullshit at worst.
Yeah.
Other than that, fucking hell, I love this episode.
Yeah, similarly, I feel like the stunt of like giving the rats to the rich merchants is a bit silly. It's a kind of obviously a bad idea.
I think it's believably silly.
Yeah.
I think that like the Rhaenyra we know does think that sort of bullshit might work.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, it will at least piss people off that I want to piss off.
I think just some of the the writing, like some of the lines this episode are incredible.
Yes.
Like shutting a door within you, and Viserys lived in a world of his own construction where we have never tread.
Fantastic. My rage billows beyond my grasp.
I was so stoked about the High Septon. I'm just so stoked by how many like little world building tertiary characters, how they fleshed out.
Dense.
Yeah.
It's a dense episode.
I'm so glad that Corlys got to explode and do something. I'm so glad that Alinda is being like politically relevant. I'm glad that Sylvie is advocating for the common people, and so is Mazaria clashing with Daemon. And
I fucking love Daemon in this episode as well.
And the reason why it works so well is that everyone is so well grounded in the established characters that we know and love. Daemon is being so Daemon.
Yes.
Corlys is being so Corlys. And Rhaenyra at the center of it all. We can feel the weight of every one of her relationships and experiences is felt through this episode
it's
now.
Paying
and
off
is informing
so well.
all of her decisions now. And even characters who aren't in this episode are in this episode. And it's incredible that they managed to juggle so many characters in one episode that is about just one character.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Rhaenyra episode, but it's the everyone episode.
Okay, we don't know what this episode is called yet. Do you want to know what this episode is called?
What's it called?
Rhaenyra Triumphant.
Yeah.
I'm not taking any questions.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great choice, Glidus, because she's not feeling triumphant right now.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point is that she's won the throne. Rhaenyra has won the Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
She's
it's
taken
over.
the throne.
She did it.
This should be roll credits, but no, that's just the beginning of all the complicated, unending litany of painful, important, crucial bullshit that will fill her days for the rest of her life.
Can you imagine?
This is what triumph is?
Yeah. This is the season 3 premiere, right?
Yeah.
In an alternate timeline, we watched the previous 2 episodes in 2024 at the end of season 2. Everyone fucking loved them. Then we waited 2 years. Like, it sort of was roll credits. She did it. Holy shit. But then there's this like tension. Alicent is mad at me. I killed Otto. How the fuck am I gonna like use Daemon in my regime? What's his role gonna be? Luther Largent looks a lot like my baby daddy. What the hell? And then 2 years later, we get this episode. What?
Yeah. It's such a great opener for a season in the sense that it's introducing, look at all these new problems that we have to deal with, and let's look back at the relevant stuff from the past, but let's look forward for like setting up what's new and introducing new weirdos like Torrin Manderley and Luther Largent and remember Alinda, remember Sylvie. What a wonderful premiere to season 3.
Fantastic. I said that this episode is so extraordinarily dense. They have to maintain this density if they want to tell the entire story, right? What this episode has demonstrated is an ability to weave characterful, thoughtful, thematic writing through an extraordinarily plot-dense episode.
Yeah.
We talked so long about this episode.
We've
Holy
talked so
moly.
long about this episode. Gladys, thank you for talking with this episode.
No, thank you for talking with this episode about me.
Gladys, thanks for talking with this episode about me.
That's okay. Audience, thank you for listening about this episode with we.
It's been a long yap, so I can't string words together anymore. But thank
And
you
we
so much
are
for listening.
already in our pajamas. So it
We
is
sure
bedtime. We hope you have a nice sleep as well. Try to get that new mattress Mazaria promised you. Don't sleep with Damon. It's a bad idea. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. If you're listening on Nebula.
Thanks for listening if you're not listening on Nebula.
And peace out.
War out.
I know we just said goodbye, but it's actually the spoiler zone time. Get out of here if you don't want to listen to spoilers. All right, get in here if you do want to listen to spoilers.
Because I think what Helena is saying is, I don't want to be in this room because this is the room where Tom and Baratheon commit suicide in Game of Thrones Season 6. Isn't that what she's saying? And she's also saying this is the episode where I'm going to commit suicide. Right?
I'll just put that one in the spoiler zone.
Isn't that what she's saying?
Yeah.
So it's such a like dark, weird,
And also hilarious.
yeah, it's funny and dark and awful and bleak and ironic.
Twice this episode, we are told that Sunfire, Aegon's dragon, is dead.
Yeah, so this is a spoiler zone bit because in the books, Sunfire is alive.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Actually, it's quite important that Sunfire is alive.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler.
Spoiler.
Sunfire eats Rhaenyra in the end. And so it's very odd that they keep saying Sunfire is dead. They specifically say that Sunfire is rotting.
Decaying, yeah.
So it's like, how can Sunfire be alive when multiple people are saying that Sunfire is fucking decomposing?
Yeah.
Like, but I don't
And
believe
there's
that...
that shot in the trailer where Aegon is seemingly saved by his dragon.
I mean, the only way it makes sense is if Sunfire is very fucked up, right?
Yeah,
Like,
which-
Sunfire has to look like
A
he's
dead
rotting.
dragon.
Like, maybe Sunfire's skin is all messed up like Viserys. Like, maybe
Like
Sunfire
Aegon.
looks diseased. Like Aegon, like Viserys.
Yeah.
It's puzzling. I guess they're just trying to make it a surprise when Sunfire comes
Yeah.
back, but I'm just very curious how they're going to square that with all of these claims that Sunfire is not only dead, but
rotting.
dead and rotting. My
Yeah.
goodness.
I mean, I think all it's building up to is an insane, gory visual of this should-be dead dragon.
yeah. Yeah, I think that I want them to really, like, go hard with the effects and really make Sunfire look
A
crazy.
monster.
Yeah.
It should be a monster.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that ties again with what the High Septon says this episode about, like, dragons are a
Yeah.
profane magic that never should have been created. Like, if we see, like, a fucking zombie dragon that just looks like it should not be alive but is alive, and of course the irony that Sunfire used to be the most beautiful
Yes.
and shiny and opalescent of the dragons, making it look like a terrifying monster that should not exist,
I
an
am excited.
abomination. Give me abomination, Sunfire. That's what I want to
Hell
say.
yeah.
It's all the same magic, right? Like, I mean, that's one of the sort of esoteric theories is that the way that Targaryens control dragons is the same way that, like, the Night King controls zombies.
So that wargs control wolves.
Yeah, it's all a form of skin changing and it's all a form of abomination. George Martin spends the whole prologue of A Dance with Dragons talking about how controlling the bodies of others, overriding their souls, is evil. And that includes animals, and that includes humans, and that includes dragons.
It
And
comes corpses as well, probably.
so if we see, you know, Aegon controlling half-dead abomination, monstrous, mutilated Sunfire,
Hell
we should
yeah.
go, ugh.
But
Like-
also, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, but like it should also be grotesque. Like I want to see like Sunfire shambling
I want to see,
towards Aegon.
Flesh dangling off disgustingly.
Yeah, and I want us to feel like, oh my god, like let it die.
Yeah.
Let it die. It wants to die. And Aegon's like, fuck you. I'm not going to die. I'm not letting it die. I'm going to keep fighting Rhaenyra. I want to kill my brother. And we need to feel like this is so wrong because it ties into that whole idea that dragons themselves are an abomination. No one should have that much power. Like Rhaenyra says in this episode, no one should have that much power.
Theory time. Do you think Aegon and Sunfire are going to kill Larys?
Yeah.
In the book, Larys survives until the Hour of the Wolf when Cregan Stark kills him for his suspected involvement in Aegon's death, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if the show's gonna, like, is the show going to go that far? Is the show going to do that? Or is the show just going to deal with Larys now?
I think there's options. I mean, I think that what I think's going to happen is that like Aegon dies in the end of poison and many suspect Larys for poisoning him. What I assume
it
is
has to be Alicent in the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I sort of thought Alicent would tell Larys to poison Aegon, but I guess, like, Larys is not going to obey Alicent.
Yeah, and Alicent's not going to trust Larys.
Yeah, so I guess in the show, Alicent can poison Aegon deliberately and directly. I guess that makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, Larys could have a different fate. I wonder if they might do some magic reveal with Larys at some point. They haven't really teased that much lately, so maybe that won't be a thing. But...
Larys is going to revive Sunfire by giving his, like, Beric Dondarrion kiss of life thing.
Well, yeah,
he's going to pass his soul into Sunfire. Sunfire is dead, but Larys is going to revive Sunfire, and then Aegon is going to have his best bud Larys inside of his dragon Sunfire.
Is it wrong that I kind of love that?
No, I don't want to know what being right is, if that's wrong.
I honestly would be stoked if we saw like a magical connection between Larys and Sunfire, because Larys is, Alice Strong's relative and kin and blood. Alice was the midwife who delivered Larys, probably, it seems.
Their names are the same name.
Larys is possibly named after Alice, for all we know. What we do know is that Larys is the blood of the first men, which is the blood of the wargs and the skin changers and the weirwoods. And he lives in the haunted castle. Like, he grew up in the haunted castle with the witch Alice. Like, you telling me Larys doesn't know anything about magic?
And Simon Strong said that Larys is a scourge on his house. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I mean, look, we're kidding about the Harwin thing, kind of, but we're not kidding about the idea of Larys Strong resurrecting Sunfire.
No, that one's real.
Like, I had to think about that, and I'm like, yeah, no, I actually really want Sunfire to be resurrected by Larys Strong, because they have said in no uncertain terms multiple times this episode that Sunfire is dead and rotting. If Sunfire's dead, he's got to be resurrected. And Larys is from the magic town, the magic family in the spooky castle Harrenhal.
Harwin Strong got into Corlys's body. Like, it all adds up.
Well, yeah, it's the grand skin changer theory, because the two great necromancers in this story are Larys Strong and Harwin Strong of Harrenhal. They learned it from the best, which is Alice Rivers. They learned it from Del the
best
Goat.
is Lionel Strong, who necromanced Viserys' corpse to keep him alive for an extra 10 years. You think Orwyle did that? No, motherfucker, it was Lionel.
Right. So when Lionel Strong died, he was Viserys from then on.
Yeah. And Orwyle did have to keep him alive from then. And that's why Viserys' body deteriorated so much after Lionel's death.
And that's why Viserys suddenly, like, attempted to do decent things. Like, that's why Viserys had that spurt of energy and tried to, like, fix everything at the last minute. It's because he was Lionel. It all makes sense.
Wow.
This is the grand, strong theory.
Okay. Being slightly more serious, if Larys does fucking skin change Sunfire, if Larys' soul goes into Aegon's dragon, do you think Alice has oh my god, we finally have an old god skin changing a dragon? What's gonna happen there?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, strictly speaking, yeah. So we haven't seen human skin changers or green seers resurrecting dead animals. We've only seen green seers and skin changers like Bloodraven and Bran controlling living animals and Hodor. White Walkers are the only ones who control dead animals. So far as we've
Larys
seen.
is the Night King.
But the exception is Qyburn, right? Because Qyburn resurrects Bobby Muscles.
Right. Yes.
Qyburn resurrects the Mountain.
You could say that Miri Mazdur resurrects Drogo.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah. Well, and there's like Visenya resurrect and Tiana of the Tower resurrecting Maegor.
Oh yeah, shit.
So there are multiple instances of like generic blood magic resurrecting people. So maybe Laris will do blood magic to resurrect the Dragon Sunfire. I mean, who else could plausibly be a blood magician? I think Alice Rivers might be in that domain somewhat.
Yeah.
Because she is a witch, and Miri Mazdur was a witch.
Miri Mazdur was a witch who was also a maester.
Yeah.
Because she studied with Marwyn, and she calls herself Mazdur, which is a corruption of the word maester.
Yeah, and
so Alice and Miri are like symbolically the same type of guy. Yeah. And also Miri Mazdur, like having studied with Marwyn, Qyburn also learnt from Marwyn. Them necromancy has a shared origin.
Hey, that's so smart.
And Miri says that Marwyn taught her like anatomy. Like they did surgeries, they did autopsies, they cut people open to see how their bodies worked. So Marwyn is this like common origin for the necromancy shit Qyburn and Miri pull. And Miri is like, if we're paralleling her with Alice, sure. Alice is going to try to resurrect Aemond? Is that what's going to happen next fucking episode?
That is another brain blast.
What did I just do?
No, I would love it. Like, it actually makes a lot of sense if Alice resurrects Aemond, because there are multiple moments in the story. Like, Miri resurrecting Drogo and Tiana resurrecting Maegor, where like these witchy women like resurrect these powerful dying men to sort of use as their puppet in various ways. And like the idea that Alice tries to like make Aemond hers through dark magic, like that fits the narratives in the books as well, because the books say Aemond fell in love with Alice and Alice must have used love potions. It also says that Kristen Cole allegedly fell in love with Alice as well, and that Alice made them both her thralls using magic. And like Alice has an ability to control people.
Yeah, and Aemond is like just a more leveled up psychopath version of Daemon, so why wouldn't Alice use more leveled up magic to take control of him?
Yeah, and it's a more like morally sensible thing as well, because Aemond is more monstrous and more uncontrollable than Daemon is. So the idea of like trying to control, I mean, he's the most powerful person in the world with the Vhagar. So trying to control the most evil, destructive, powerful person in this world
maybe
through
it's for
magic,
the best than leaving him uncontrolled.
It's pretty,
as a wild teenager.
It's ethically justifiable, and it fits a lot of the like patterns and archetypal ideas that George repeats of like witches resurrecting powerful men to control them.
I don't know if you could say that like owning someone's body, like corrupting their soul and controlling them, like that's the thing that is most often called an abomination.
Well, but that exact
can you call
moral
that ethically
tension,
justifiable?
Well, yeah, of course, but that moral tension is what makes it interesting and worthy of inclusion in a Martin book.
Other witchy people who resurrect dying powerful men, of course, include Thoros of Myr resurrecting Beric Dondarrion, and then, of course, him passing that on to Catelyn Stark, Lady Stoneheart. And also, of course, we all expect Melisandre to play a role in the resurrection of Jon Snow.
Yeah. So,
this is something... Miri Mazdur also resurrected Daenerys.
So, God, that is a wild, bold prediction, but I love it. I love the idea of Alice resurrecting Aemond. I love the even wacky idea of Laris or someone resurrecting Sunfire the dragon. And I also love the idea of Rhaenyra's period blood being visible when she gets up the throne and that being used against her politically. Those are our 3 bold predictions.
And it all spawned from Harwin skin-changed callers.
See, this is why whenever we go on rabbit holes, like sometimes you're like, do you actually believe this or not? But like when you go through the tunnel of something that you don't believe, you can sometimes arrive at somewhere that you do believe.
Yeah, the tunnel was a weird fucking who cares hole that no one really was interested in. But you come out the other side of the tunnel and this beautiful clearing that the rabbit found for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not how rabbit holes work. We should wear pajamas more often.
Yeah, this Dragon Time is brought to you by PJs. PJs, the Dragon Time attire of choice.